Is
I
he facing the
mean,
camera, or is he like looking at us like he was in the last video?
I mean, like if you think about it, Dead Shadow's character in the intro just looked dead. And then over here we can't look at him because he's looking at y'all. He's like, look at these
That's for
fucking
true.
creations. You just be like, look at my fucking creations. Oh my god. But yeah, so yeah, welcome everybody to what the fuck the name of this shit again? Real New Outlaw podcast or
Real
something.
new
Gotta
outlaw
do it.
podcast.
Yeah, we need to change that sooner, like as soon as possible.
Either that, or we'll get it down like eventually.
Probably.
Just gotta get it over. You know.
For real. And I still see nobody claim the freaking bounty, so that's a shame.
What's the bounty on?
Like if you look at the script, well, the little joint, I put the wanted sign there and
Oh
nobody ever
yeah,
claimed the
yeah, yeah,
fucking
yeah. I
bounty
seen
yet,
it.
so I guess we can't salvage it anymore. Anyways, I'm Kano. We got Noah Underhill, one of the few people that actually should have had a good run with Pain Party, but I guess retired. I think
Yep. Gotta
that's
do what you gotta
unfortunate.
do.
He got his ass whooped.
This motherfucker had it was him and Pain versus J Bomber and Shadow Dar, and unfortunately he lost. Well, that's nothing new because his run was actually kind of garbage to begin with. That's just honesty.
I lose all the time, bro.
For real. And
It's all
then
good.
and then we
Wait, so it
had
was a mixed tag?
it
Yeah.
was mixed. Well, it was a mixed intergender tag match if you think about it.
Yikes.
It's
Yeah.
basically an
So Dar
embarrassment.
must
Like,
have had that 40% finisher rate, and J Bar must still been Booker T at that rate.
Yep.
And then we also have Dead Shadow, aka Bob, the fucking builder of Fire Pro. Basically, he's God because he's the one that actually made some of y'all. So,
I make
Most of y'all.
potatoes.
wait, what?
Yeah, potato edits.
I mean, in the Bible, God created the fucking man and earth. Well, so I guess, yeah. What? Next person, we got Zach Roper, former WCC champion, the former casual God.
Two-time.
Shut the fuck
For-
up. But like,
Two-time. You get it right, you son of a bitch.
I'd rather not, but okay. So we got the first ever two-time paper champion from WCC.
Hey,
Zach
I mean,
Roper, shut up, bitch. But like,
you're a favorite champ too, to be fair.
I wasn't a
I'm
paper.
also the current general manager of Top Tier Tuesday
You got lose
and
the fucking
the
record,
top
you
tier
bum.
heavyweight champ.
I
It's
mean-
your boy.
Oh my fuck. I mean, if we being honest,
I'm all hyped
here,
up on monsters, so I apologize for my energy.
of course, it's the Monster Energy drink, you know. But like the thing
Hell
is,
yeah, man.
but Zach, let's be clear. Let me be clear with you. When you
Okay.
first held the WCC championship and lost it to me, and I held the belt.
Well, first
Somebody
of all, I beat
shut up.
Toro Bravo.
Toro Bravo is
retain
whatever, but anyways, it's like somebody told me this, right? They say
Uh-huh.
my run as my run as the WCC champion was much longer than your first run as WCC champion.
Well, yeah, because it didn't help that I was like being thrown into a bunch of those bullshit multi-man matches that my character was not good at, and it didn't help. Like, because I said this on the first episode, but like people didn't say it, but I could feel it. People are like, "This guy is like not a real champ." So like I said, I was like, if I beat Toro Bravo, I can shut everyone up. And then you cashed in. I'm like, all right, well, time to turn heel because fuck this baby face run.
Yeah, is
That today was like the biggest fucking mistake that I ever made in WCC was going face.
you're the rock star, so why should you be facing?
And it wasn't even my idea. It was just something I went along with just to see how it'd turn out. And like I predicted, it was complete and utter bullshit.
Yeah.
What isn't?
Well, then the man, the myth, the legend, the only one that could be the second true edgy motherfucker of all time. And the guy that I still cannot fucking forgive the fact that he walked away with Kaiju and the fucking gold, which me and Zach were trying to fucking do to begin with. We have the man, the twink, the fucking dude, emo boy, or should I say Mr. Blunt because of his smoking habits, but you know.
What up? What up? What's up, y'all? Definitely was not here last week. Missed out
Yeah.
on the good times, but I'm here this time.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Finally got
was
you on
the
board,
fucking-
man. I'm excited about this.
Yeah. I mean, like,
I
in the figure
apologize for
description.
missing. I was just really, really tired and I couldn't make it. It just
Dude, as
wasn't gonna
someone
happen.
who has like worked 2 or 3 different night shifts, I totally get it.
Yeah, and I'll be really tired after I'm done with work. Like I can't even keep my eyes open past like 3. Honestly, if I go any further than that, it's a stretch.
Dude, my sleep schedule is so fucked right now, and I've got like work starting on the 21st, so I've got to like
5
fix
p.m.
that shit.
Yeah.
Like when you and Rex were talking about wrestling on the chat, I definitely chimed in like from break at work.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Love
because
that
I
feeling.
definitely wouldn't have seen it like otherwise. I just happened to be on my break and looked at my phone and was like, "Oh, these guys are talking about something. Let me chime in."
Yeah.
I should have told you guys because I just kind of disappeared in the middle of like that little quick 5-10 minute exchange.
I mean, I'm kind of understanding when it comes to that stuff. If someone like drops out, I'm like, okay, they're probably doing something else, so it is what it is. And I'll usually like do a conversation for as long as I can until people drop off, and I'm like, all right, well, time to do other shit.
Yeah, time to move on.
Yeah, time
Yeah,
to move on.
but here this week, not here last week. What's up?
And then you have me, just the current employed person of WCC who is secretly hitting, well, basically the whole
Not very
time.
secretly.
Yeah. But here's the thing: it's
Not
like
for long.
sooner or later he's going to figure out, and
If he hasn't already.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I think he's the type
how
of
don't you
person to
figure
hear
it
it.
out?
Yeah, and he's the type of person to hear some shit and sit on it. You know what I mean? And then wait till he can try to like bust you with it somehow. That's
ABC
that's the
mouse.
annoying thing. I noticed. I mean, he did. I don't know. He pulled some shit like that with me, so it is what it is. Like, it's just you get found out one way or another. Someone else sees it. He sees.
I remember he stalked my stream when I had him blocked already before it even started and everything.
I swear, WCC is like the fucking Vince McMahon to
So
Fire
yeah,
Pro.
it is what it is. It's kind of like he wants to be the Vince McMahon of Fire Pro. I don't know if I would say that he is,
kind of wants,
but
or he already is.
I would say he wants to be. I don't think he is because I don't think he actually controls anything. He just likes to act like he does.
Right.
And when you act like you have something, that means you got it. If enough people agree with you.
Yeah, I mean that was something I noticed when I was in WCC was that people would always tell me shit where I'd be like, huh, like. So I can't remember who exactly, but someone tried to tell me like Nick Infante had clout. And so I went to Nick Infante and was like, someone told me you had clout around here just to fuck with him. You know what I mean? Because to me, that's just, if you brought something to Nick Infante, he could help, them see your way. So I literally used that in a like kind of promo / like dig at Nick one time where it was the Royal Flush beat me, Kaiju, and Dealer in a 6-man match. And I basically took like 3 of those moonsault double stomps in a row. So I was, like joking, saying that I got jobbed out. It was bullshit or whatever. And I went straight to Nick and was like, Nick, you got to do something about it. I heard you have clout around here. And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, come on, bro. Someone told me you got the clout, like, give me what I need. And then, of course, the commissioner saw what I was saying and was like, hey, man, can you not? And it was like, no, I have to, because like that's what I'm about. That's like the whole act that I'm putting on is the fact that
You're pretty much the X-Pac of the Coven.
yeah, I was there to be obnoxious. I was there to piss people off, and it worked pretty well for a good amount of time. The thing
Oh,
too,
hell
though,
yeah,
was
it did.
that there was also like a second wave of people that came after I pissed a whole lot of people off that liked it. So it
Yep.
was
That
like
was me.
it became
Me.
like I mean, it was. I mean, I know like Brooklyn and my opponent enjoyed watching me act like an asshole. You know what I'm saying? So it was funny to me. And Kano, you remember the whole shit with Furious Frank? That all started from him calling me a bitch for no reason, and me just goading him into a fight, which turned into him getting hit with brass knuckles, which turned into the whole fucking chat blowing up that day, and me joining the Coven. And it was, it was a fun moment. But it all came
Dude,
from somebody just being a bitter fucking hater and me being like, let me play off of this because this is fun to me,
I
I
remember I
also
fucking marked out
I
when
had
you
a
did that.
conversation with him like the day before it where we were talking about stuff like in DMs, and he was like bragging to me about like AJ Styles being in his what's it called stream, not Twitch, what's the Xbox one? I can't think of what it's called.
Mixer, and he definitely
Mixer
wasn't.
stream.
Mixer.
Yeah. So he was bragging to me about AJ Styles being in his Mixer stream, and then I was telling him about something I was doing with just like making edits or something, and he was, like basically saying, I was doing a good job and all this shit, and the next day he's calling me a bitch. So I just thought, like, man, what the fuck? Like, why would you call me a bitch because of what? Like, because my character is friends with Zach Roper? Because at that point in time, like, me and Zach had talked a few times. It was mainly because when I showed up, I just wrote a blind promo talking shit about how the people at the top of the company were full of themselves. And Zach bit on it right away because, I mean, he was the champion. So he had no, it was like he had no
Yeah.
choice, kind of. It was a pride thing where it was like, I can't just let this guy walk in here and say that I'm full of shit.
Yeah,
So
because
he
my
had
whole
to
character is egotistical anyways, and he would not let that shit slide.
Yeah, so I walked straight into like the top tier just based off shit talking, and that was like kind of what I've like carved my niche doing. And then this guy just showed up and called me a bitch, so I was like, man, come on, let's have a match. I knew that I had put the brass knuckles on my guy because I make my own edits, so I know what I'm like I have an idea of what I want to do and how I'm going to do it. And like honestly, the fun thing about Fire Pro, I don't think a lot of people realize, is that if you're really into it and you're really into making, looking for good matches, you can literally tweak things match by match. And if you have an approach where you're thinking about how you want to win or how you can, get a reaction, you can make random tweaks. And that's kind of what I did. I put the brass knuckles actually on my character because I was supposed to fight George in a death match. And the idea was that I wanted to knock him out with the brass knuckles, but that got scrapped because I had this match with Furious Frank first, and I hit him with the brass knuckles, and I was cool with it because it made for a great ending to the scenario because of
And
the
you
amount
got
of
heat.
shit. Yeah, the amount of shit he talked, all of that. It added up. So it was like either he beat me and cool, or I beat him and he got embarrassed, and he got like double embarrassed because I did it off of the dirty move. And it was, it was pretty cool. Then later we've had a match where it was supposed to be George and Zach and some random dude.
It was Bones. Was
Yeah.
because
Was it the
WCC?
skeleton one or the human one?
I believe it was the human one because
Okay,
WCC
good.
wanted him to be a part of
Yeah.
the Coven. Like he was the guy that he kept mentioning.
And
His
Yeah.
so
name is Bones.
during the show, I just DM'd the commission and was like, bro, you have to put me in that match. Like, if you don't, you're fucking up. Like, you just saw what happened.
Yeah, because like
You
you
put
had
happen like that. he just got so excited that we had concocted this crazy plan that he already dropped me in the group in the game. So when he wants to select the character, because he's on a live stream, everybody sees it. So, you know, he goes to pick me. He's like, oh, Emo Boy's in the Coven, duh. Gunhill Bane freaks out. Then
Dude, his reaction was like the best fucking thing ever.
Because I just don't. He honestly didn't see it coming. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
we blindsided the shit out of him because
Yeah.
the whole time all we did was fight.
Right.
And then like we didn't even get to build up to any type of like we might have a friendship going on. Like it went from us at each other's throats to me being in the group because he jumped the gun a little bit. And I'm not mad at it because it got a good reaction. It is what it is.
Right.
But he did the same thing later down the line with Dealer. That kind of pissed me off because that was kind of my idea, and he like threw it all out there, and it kind of, I don't know, like it was awkward for me because I don't think what a lot of people understand about Dealer was he wasn't supposed to actually be in the Coven. It was all like a long con on my part. Because the idea of me joining the Coven in the first place, which was discussed by me and Zach before I even joined, was that eventually it was made to elevate me as well, you know? So like, because we started fighting, so it would be best if we ended fighting too. But it just never got to happen, which sucks. I mean, it didn't happen in WCC. It's happening now in my EFED OWA, but it's different because we aren't, you know, we didn't like break up the way I intended to, which I thought would have been fun. I know Zach probably would have agreed to it if I ever got to tell him, but I never even got to tell him because I was still working that long con. Like, Zach, you watch Lucifer, right?
Not really, but I
You've
kind of
never seen
understand
it?
Nah.
So, like part of the thing in Lucifer is like he never gives up a lot of information because he's always running cons on people because he's so sneaky and conniving and he's very cunning. And so like he can like if he gets in a bad situation, he can charm his way out of it all the time because he's the fucking devil. And he's like a handsome dude on the TV show. So like, you know, like he pretty much just looks at a person and they're like, "Oh, whatever you want, Lucifer." And it is what it is. So what I was doing was I wasn't gonna like screw Zach over. The idea, because I had talked to Zach about Dealer joining the Coven, but we never like fully like came to the conclusion that like to join now. You know, like I was putting it in his ear, like in private, like, yo, we need a heavyweight, we need a big dude that can beat ass for us while we can talk shit. You know, it can make us even more heels because as much of bad dudes as we were, there were still a lot of people who liked us. So the idea was to project more of that cowardish heel, but also because of the way me and Zach talked, like it would just rub people the wrong way. I felt like so it would elevate us as heels and keep us from that whole. Like I had a lot of people DM me and stuff like, "You're not really a heel. Too many people like you. Too many people, blah blah blah." And it's like, man, that's not my fault. Like the character is being portrayed exactly how I want to. I'm obnoxious. I'm rude. I curse a lot. I smoke. I drink. You know what I mean? Like that was pretty much like everything a pro wrestler doesn't, or a good guy pro wrestler doesn't do. And I don't know. People liked it. It's not my fault. Like it's a relatable character, I guess. People, you know, a lot of times are emotional. They get caught up in their emotions. When things are going good, they talk shit. They feel good about themselves, you know, like they feel like they're the best. And that's how I projected myself when shit was going good. Yeah, exactly.
I think
but the second shit went south
the thing that I
was
noticed.
just gonna say the second.
We're gonna keep doing. Okay. The thing that I noticed, like now that I'm thinking about it, is most people were trying to do that. Like there was no straight baby face in WCC. They all wanted to have that edge. They all wanted to have that little thing that they could come out. They want to be able to talk trash while still being the good guy. And I think that because of that, that's why you got over as much as you did by being extra, but also because you were the only one that you were like the top thing. So people were going to latch on to you.
Yeah,
I mean,
me as like, okay, I grew up in the 90s. Like Macho Man is my favorite wrestler. So like for me, like it's literally a joke on Macho Man. Like I'm supposed to be the opposite, emo boy, Macho Man. It's that, you know what I mean? But it's the same, like the way I would talk shit to Nick. If you watch Macho Man do interviews with me and Gene, all he did was talk shit to Mean Gene because he knew he could, because he knew he was the Macho Man. What the fuck was Mean Gene gonna do to the Macho Man? And that's how I felt about Nick Infante. Like, Nick Infante, what the fuck are you gonna do to me? Nothing.
I mean,
So,
he shot Kane-No, so
run through walls.
That's,
yeah, I mean, he did a lot of goofy shit that I just laughed off because it's like, bro, you are a goofball. I'm gonna call you on all your bullshit. You ask the same questions. You're like a script. It's bullshit. Like, you literally are just here to be here. Just go be a fan. And that's how I would treat him, because to me, it was like, why are you trying to be involved if you don't want to be fully involved? There's a point where I literally said to him, why don't you become a wrestler then? If you want to get in here and talk shit with me because I lost the match, why don't you come and wrestle then? And he, of course, was like, I'm an interviewer, blah, 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 blah. Like, it's like, okay, then
What do you
shut
mean?
the fuck
He
up.
turned into Earl Hebner at one point.
Yeah, that was after I challenged him to be a wrestler.
Yeah.
But freaking Nick shot Kane-No. I'm not fucking lying.
And did he not get? He got in no type of yelled at or anything for that? Because I remember the one time that we all had that one night when, who was it, pulled out guns or said they pulled out guns? Mar and Jay Bomber, and WCC came in all like, no, like, and it was just like, I don't know, it was weird because like I forget where it came from, why there was guns involved, like, and it wasn't even like they were trying to shoot people. It was some really dumb shit. But the point is like, why would he not reprimand Nick for actually shooting a person that's supposed to be on the show? But he immediately jumped in the chat and yelled at Mar and Jay Bomber for pulling out a fucking machine gun to shoot at a ghost or some bullshit. Like, I don't know, man.
What?
The context for that?
Wait. So first of all, they went up trying to shoot ghosts.
That was
with
always
bullets.
part of my. Some shit like that, bro. Because there definitely was like a Mara Rivers brother character that's not Mike Rivers. I can't remember what dude's name was, and he was like haunting more for like 2 weeks. You were still there when it happened. But you know, that was near the end of your run where you were going through whatever you were going through. So you probably weren't paying attention to their crazy asses. Because
I saw something like that, but I didn't want to say anything.
I'm just imagining like Luigi's Mansion, just like a bunch of ghosts, and it's just Mar and Jay.
That gave me a whole idea. Hold on, let me go to GIMP real quick.
Okay, so Noah, I don't know if you were there. No, I don't know if you were there, but there was a point on, because I joined like literally the exact same day as Mar. That's why Mar like is really cool with me, because we literally joined the same day. So like he would always do like these things like have a party and shit like that. So it'd be like you'd be at like Mar's like crazy imaginary mansion, and then all of a sudden he'd whip out an AR-15 to go shoot at his ghost brother. And it was like
that's amazing.
And it was like, man, what? Yeah, like, I mean, there was just stuff he would do in RP, and again, it's like, it's cool because it's like, it is an RP. It's a fantasy fucking world. Like, I'm not gonna bitch at you if you're doing something you think is fun. That's cool by me. You know what I mean? But it's also funny because like we all have our own different things, so it's fine if like you're shooting your ghost brother. It's funny to everybody else, because it's entertainment. It's just goofy shit. But yeah,
that's just how Mar and the Mar universe works. It's just hilarious and it's great.
Yeah, it is. It's fun.
I
like.
It's fun.
Yeah, you gotta just like the kid because he is just a nice kid that wants to have fun, and he genuinely is just having fun. So and that's part of what was so frustrating with me with WCC too, was that there were a lot of people there that were kids that were there just to have fun, and he just loved to fuck with people's fun. And that was part of what pissed me off, because it's like, dude, I'm a grown man. You can fuck my day up all you want. It's not going to make me that mad. But when you go fuck with a 13-year-old kid and call him a bitch on a stream, that makes me mad. When you fucking, put Mar in these crazy situations that he can't overcome, that makes me mad. When you do this shit to fucking Matt Michaels, where you run him into a fucking wall and to the point where he wants to quit and basically commit suicide, like, that's annoying. Because it's like, these are all kids, dude.
Wait.
Well,
what happened with Michaels?
Well, his character like got critical. Like, he tried to sell it like he broke his neck. He kept booking him. It happened again, and he just basically got embarrassed to the point where he was like, "All right, I'm going to challenge Zach Roper, and if I lose, I quit."
Remember that one time where he was basically literally dead by some attacker, and WCC said, "Oh, he's recovered, he's good." Fucking 10 minutes later, comes out bleeding profusely.
Coach says, "Walk it off, you'll be fine." Yeah, because like I remember, like it was me versus Michael.
It's just like you drove the kid to the point where he was mad. That's crazy. He's a kid. Like, yeah, and you critical him with a switchblade, right?
What happened was for the first match, I kept kicking him in the balls. So then the finish was the Akakira, which is pretty much the low blow roll up.
Yeah, low blow roll up.
Yeah, because his character got over in the battle royal like really quickly, in like 5 seconds.
Yeah, but then he got critical to the end by more.
Yeah,
and then that
critical
just like
screwed
4
that run
times
out.
in a row after that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I don't know. It was weird. And it's just like, I don't know. These are kids trying to have fun. Why are you fucking with their shit? Why do you got to play Overlord? Just book the matches, let it play out. That's how I feel. Like, it's entertainment.
He's the mid-carder. He got over right
for
away.
everybody, not just for the guy who's running it.
Zack Ryder who?
Yeah.
Kurt
So,
Hawkins?
to me, like, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, he lost like 1,000 matches in a row. I don't think that
He was like 1 in 7.
Wait.
Damn, the WCC.
But yeah.
Or what was it, Kurt Hawkins? Yeah, that's the guy that had the losing streak.
Yeah, that was Matt Michaels basically.
God damn it, Zach. What's the point of this freaking like? My boy just have the question marks. In the freaking
no, I just put that with the whole like Mar Rivers like shooting up his ghost thing. That was like that was literally my face when I heard that.
I remember when Nick and Fonte had 20 people in the room at once.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Dude, I still think about that to this day. That shit was amazing.
Wait, are you talking about the time when I crashed his shit and he got really mad and like blocked people in the room?
The emo report.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. So Kane-No, you were gone when I pulled off this stunt called the emo report.
Like I kind of heard a little bit about it before I left.
The first time I did it because Zach wanted to do it. But that was another thing I want to say about WCC that actually upset me was the fact that he made me promises. Like he told me if I stopped bothering Nick and doing the emo report in his room, he would actually give me my own shit, and he never did it because he kicked me out before he could. You know what I mean?
I remember telling him to set up like own interview spots for like popular people, and he never did.
Yeah, and he told me I'd get my own interview spot. He told me that he would do like Kane-No, how you do like the promo shit on your shows where it's playing the music and the text runs on the bottom. He said he would do that for my character. Never did it. It's just I don't know, man.
We ended up doing the show by trash cans.
Yeah. No, we did an RP where I basically just set up by the garbage cans on purpose so I could bitch about it. And, you know, like...
I did the same thing, too.
Segment. Yeah, I was like, oh, look at me in this fucking shitty corner of the locker room next to the garbage cans and the bathroom door. Like, this sucks. Like, I should have my own room. This, loser Nick Infante has his own room. He can't even do a good interview. Like, just like little things like that. I don't know. It was fun, but he made all these promises to me. Like, if you stop bothering Nick, I'll do this. And I wasn't even really, because like Nick follows me on Twitch. Like if I streamed on Twitch, he would go in my room and talk to me friendly. You know what I'm saying? Like there was never really a beef with Nick. It was just that I was playing a character and he would take it too seriously every once in a while. And I do think that he's not a good interviewer. I'll say that. And I do think that they should get somebody else to be an interviewer if they do want to do actual interviews like that. But it's not my company, so I can't make the decision. I tried to get myself in that position. He told me he would do it if I obliged him. I obliged him, and it was never given to me.
Remember when he used to
mainly
chase
because
people
I got
down?
kicked out. Nick?
Yeah, like when he's chased people down. I remember he chased whatever that football league is that WCC like went with at the time. Like he went off on their stream. Yeah, he went off on them in the stream for like 2 hours straight, and like the dude who owns the football thing was pretty chill about it.
Oh yeah, I saw.
Well, I know
that
like
was fucking wow.
Remember the one night when Rex's character came out and like fell flat faced into the ring, and then he cut that promo.
Yep.
And then Nick, like 30 minutes later, came in the room like, "Yo, Rex Gable, where you at? You gotta come give me your promo." And Rex is like, "Fuck you, Nick, I'm out of here." I don't know. That shit is just funny because it's like he acts like he's like, okay, if you ever say anything to him about like, why are you so bad at being interviewed? He's like, oh, I'm a professional interviewer. And it's like, well, if you're the professional interviewer, man, why aren't you there during the show when Rex is literally in your room cutting the fucking promo? You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's just the whole thing was like a fucking circus, like a clown show, you know? And I'm kind of happy that I got kicked out when I did. I kind of wish I left before I got kicked out, because everybody that I know that I talk to a lot, like Zach or like that Shadow, knows that I wanted to quit with the fucking women's championship belt and the tag team championship belt, and I.
The women's
Yeah, because I believe Aaron Powers was the one who won the belt, right?
Because them. But I was already mad. He told me I couldn't use my character on my own streams. He told me that Dale and Looney, the guys who do the SWA and LLFC, couldn't use me in their streams because he didn't like them, because they challenged his authority when they were in WCC, when they were the people who they created the edit points team, and they just wanted him to enforce the rules, and he got them and said they're he just wanted their edit to be under the limit. Like, I don't know. It's just like, I'm 30-something. Like,
this old fuck.
I'm kicking ass. Told me not to. It's like I'm kicking ass in WCC. Everybody there likes what I'm doing. I can't just leave them all. You know what I mean? Like, and that's
like,
I was pretty much in the mind. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say I was pretty much in the mindset at that point where if one of the members of the coven left, we were all gonna leave.
Yeah, probably. But I mean, you had the championship. Me and Kaiju both had championships. Like, it was one of those things where it's like I wasn't gonna force you to walk out if you didn't want to. And what got me kicked out was when you told me that you wanted to leave, and I made a comment to the commission like, "Yo, you're fucking up," because we all want to go.
Yeah, right.
And I told him that because I wanted him to have a fair warning so he could try to fix things. And instead of trying to fix it, he kicked me out, tried to create a divide between me and Zach. Whole bunch of shit that was being said, because that's my friend. He literally said to Kaiju, "I respect you as a friend, not as a fake wrestler." Like, as if me and Kaiju were only fake friends in WCC. Like, I don't know, man. It was just crazy. Like, he acts like we're all children, and that's what made me so fucking infuriated. It was like, don't treat me like a fucking child, dude. I'm not stupid. You know what I mean? I know how fucking like none of what you're doing adds up. Like, and that was just kind of like, you know, like all of that just made me really mad to the point where I had to say something to him like, dude, you're fucking up because we're all about to go. And we have all your belts. So what do you want to do? And I just wanted him to try to make things right with Zach. So maybe he can make things right with Zach so he can make things right with me and we could all just be smooth sailing. But he chose not to do that. And I can't fault him for his decision, but I think it was a bad decision on WCC because he lost his champion. He lost his tag team champion, who is literally threatening to win all of his other singles championships. He lost Kaiju. He lost Dealer of Reality. He lost Carmella Noctum, who was very over when I first showed up. She kind of disappeared for a while. But when I first showed up, Carmella was more over than Zach. Like, I'm sorry, Zach.
I remember that. I remember that.
It was a thing. Like, I remember there was a night where Carmella got critical and I got critical, and guys were making jokes at Zach like, "Emo Boy's gonna fuck your girlfriend," and it's like, nah, like that's weird. But
that was pretty much like the one thing that they would always say, and I'm like, guys, chill.
Yeah, and it's just like, I don't know, it was weird, but she was super over, and it was mainly because it was a bunch of immature dudes who are just trying to, you know, make jokes about the I guess the hot girl. I don't know, because it's a fucking edit on a fucking video game. Like, none of them are attractive. They're little video game characters. Like, I don't know why these guys were so up in arms
I don't know.
about.
I think Dealer's pretty hot. Just gotta say.
I mean, he's super ripped and very tan, and he's got a fucking skull mask.
Triple D. Mm-hmm.
Like, if you want to be attracted to anything, here's pretty much what I based it on, because I made this on like Pit Crew or whatever. Because like I said on the first episode, I pretty much based her off this character I made for Hogwarts Mystery, which was like this mobile Harry Potter game.
Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah.
You told me that early, because I mean, one of the first things that I did was take shots at her, because I knew it would make you mad.
Yeah, because like Zach's very protective of his girlfriend.
Yeah, like, which is fair, especially when everybody's trying to talk to her and manipulate the situation. You know what I mean?
So Lance Canola, who's like, I'm gonna make her taste the sauce.
Yeah, that's yikes.
That is a great line, though.
Yeah, it is.
It's terrible, but it's great at the same time.
Yeah, dude, I do remember that. That was gross. He said it in a fucking match. That's one of the most ridiculous things ever to me. And people used to try to tell me he was level-headed. Like, he was the good one. Gun Hill Bane I'm talking about. He literally said he wanted to fucking edit in a match. I have no problem saying that. And I have no problem saying his name, because what the fuck is he going to do to me? Like, he literally was watching a match. It was... Who was it? It was definitely Brouhaha, and it was whoever replaced my opponent at the fucking... And that's the other thing. It was at like the
Mika Payne or some bullshit.
Nah, it wasn't, because it was at the... Because she won the fucking tournament. It was at the... What's it called? Queen of the Ring shit. So it was like supposed to be...
Oh, man, that stream fucking pissed me off.
Yeah. So
all the real, actually talented people lost.
Yeah, Carmella Knockman got bumped off. I'm like, damn, she like can't fucking win a match at this point. She's about to leave the company.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really... I mean, that night Rex quit the next day. Like, I don't know. That was a interesting day. But he literally, Gun Hill Bane literally said during the first match, the death match, he said he would fuck both of the girls in the match. It's like, bro, there's like 16-bit fucking video game characters. What is wrong with you? I don't know. That just seemed really fucking weird to me. Like, it's not even like, it's not a 3D model. It doesn't look like a human. It looks like a little fucking anime, like not even anime, like animated pixelated piece of crap. Like, why do you like that?
It's like a fucking Sega game.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just weird to me. It was really weird to me. It was weird that he would say that in the stream. But again, it's like those guys had no self-control. They were drunk all the time or high, one of the two or both. You can't tell. And I can't judge. I smoke. I used to drink. I don't drink. I haven't drank in real life in a while.
Stream.
And I'm definitely not on stream going to be saying shit like I want to fuck a fucking edit because I'm drunk. Like, that just sounds crazy.
My boy said 16-bit.
I mean, I'll allude to...
They're made with the Unity engine. They're not great.
I know, but it's funny because how freaking emo was like 16-bit. Like, he's more specific with what the hell it is.
No, but I'm just trying to get to the point where it's like, that thing looks like shit. Why are you even saying that?
Like, I understand that. It's just funny. It's just
like, if it was like, what was that one fighting game that they used to make? They'd always make like basically like calendar girls like in bikinis fighting. I can't remember what that.
Was it like Dead or Alive or some shit?
Dead or Alive. Exactly.
Yeah, with the boobs physics.
WWE
Dead or Alive was literally like a fighting whack-off game. Like, there's no doubt about it. Like, that game was made for guys who like fighting games to watch girls in bikinis fight and watch their titties bounce. Like, it is what it is. It was a fun game though, but like, I mean, the game is like, fun for it's not like that. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what Fire Pro is. That's not what the characters look like. It's just, you sound weird saying, and one of the characters wears a fucking mask. Like, you don't even know what she looks like. You just sound like a weirdo, bro. Like, I don't know, man. It was all really strange to me. But yeah, Gun Hill Bane was somebody that I came to when I got mad about the my opponent thing, only because I knew how much he liked the character. And I confronted him and said, hey, why'd you let your boy go and fucking call this kid a bitch? And know what he did? He ran to fucking WCC like a little fucking bitch and said, oh, do you know what Emo Boy said to me? Instead of actually manning up and telling his man, like, hey, dude, you fucked up. You shouldn't have called a 13-year-old a bitch on a live stream. You sound like an asshole. Because that's what he sounded like. I'm pretty sure anybody who's heard that clip that isn't Gun Hill Bane or WCC commissioner thought he was being a fucking asshole. Like,
I remember, like, I was doing homework in the call we were in, and I heard that, or I didn't hear it. Like, I saw
didn't
the
hear
clip.
it either. What's his name showed me later. Sharp showed me later.
Yeah.
Because
like,
we were
he posted it.
We were all in the chat, and we were just talking. Half of us weren't even paying attention to what was going on.
Right.
And I forget what we were talking about, but we were all talking because that was one of those first nights where I got Rex to link up with Dead Shadow so they could try to fix his characters. So they could actually, like, I don't know. It's so confusing because WCC will say one thing to one person, then lie to the other person so that he's always covering his own tracks. Because he told Rex when he told me to tell Rex to fix his edits because they were OP, that's not what it was about. So it's like, come on, man. Like, you straight up told the man in so many words in a thing, a voice chat. Dead Shadow, I believe you were there. I'm pretty sure Zach was there. That he was when Rex was like, why aren't my guys getting pushed? And he was like, well, you got to fix them. And Rex is like, what do you mean fix them? And later, Rex
I remember this.
And Rex
I remember when he said to fix my guy, but he never downloaded the updated version because he unsubscribes from the edits and fucks them all on their own.
Yeah. And that was the other thing that I started to realize was, like, guys like Tejano X, they weren't OPing themselves. He was OPing them against, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't know. I won't say against their will.
He changed your edit points on them and shit.
Yeah, and he would even change their logic percentages. Remember how we saw that Tejano was doing all that fucking bullshit?
Tejano's original character, because he plays PvP, is Stock Logic, but he had even higher percentages than Stock Logic.
Exactly. And it was just like, what?
And he was like 250 edit points, so.
Yeah, and that was frustrating. Like, remember when we saw the Punisher and he was like high 200s, and I asked Rex about it in private, and Rex was like, I never made the Punisher that high. Like, I believe he made the Punisher 250 because I know that if you give Rex a limit, he's going right to the top of that limit every time. But he didn't make it 290. You know what I mean? Because I said to him, I was like, how's your dude 290? And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, what do you mean? The edit on Steam is 290 edit points. I saw it with my own two eyes. And that's when I started to realize, A, Rex didn't make his guy on Steam. Fucking WCC ported him, which means he could do whatever the fuck he wants with him. Which means he could have been doing whatever the fuck he wanted with my guy, too. And that was one of the final straws for me, was when we did that 8-man match against Lance and them. And my guy came out in a tire from like 2 months ago.
Yeah, wasn't that when I had already updated you, like a week prior?
Yes, and he used the right one the week before.
Wait, so
I don't even know why he didn't just delete the old version. He should just delete the old version, because that was a ported one. There was no point in keeping it.
Exactly. But that's like what was so ridiculous to me. And that was really close to the end because I know the next match was the one that I was kicked out after. So it was just like the constant, like, either negligence or disrespect or combination of both. It was ridiculous for somebody who's supposed to be the Vince McMahon of whatever. Get the fuck out of here. He can't fucking do anything. He fucking disappeared for 2 weeks and lied to everybody. Like, come on, man.
Remember when he said he didn't have a phone, but, you know, he kind of went on his phone and showed online on his phone?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just like, that's unbecoming, that's not professional, and you're like the most grown man here. Like, him and me and maybe Gun Hill Bane are probably the 3 oldest people there. And it's like, and Rex. And it's like, come on, bro. Like, you can't play us off for fucking fools or children or whatever, because we're not stupid. I know Rex basically didn't pay attention because he worked a fucking late ass job like I do right now. So a lot of times he would be asleep when that shit would happen. He'd watch it the next day, you know? So like, it's hard for him to catch up on getting screwed over because he's not really awake to see it, you know? And then once he finally started to put 2 and 2 together, he started to get frustrated. And there was people who thought that Rex was being fucking given things because he was sucking up or whatever, but he was just not paying attention. And he was being used basically like a pawn to piss people off, the same way Tejano was. Like, I don't know. It was weird. And that was another thing that was weird to me was when he kicked me out, he tried to run to Tejano and talk shit behind my back. But me, Dead Shadow, and Tejano were in a fucking voice chat the day before for hours, making a fucking match, having a good old fucking time. Like, he just thought we were like mortal enemies because we portrayed that in a fucking thing. And then he has the nerve to say to all of us, well, because I respect you as a person, you don't even pay attention to us. You don't even know who the fuck we talk to.
He did that bullshit with me, too.
Yeah. And it's like, come on, bro. How are you going to tell me the day before you kick me out without notifying me that you respect me so much, you're going to bring – he told me he was going to bring people that I wanted to be on the edit team because all this respect he had for me. And remember when me and him got in the fight about PS4 because he was saying how much better the modded game was? And I was just like, come on, man, quit the bullshit. You're world champion. You're big gold champion. You're tag team champions. You're women's champion. Your whole, you know what I mean? We're all PS4 dudes. So what are you talking about?
Give you people edit. He like basically just asked me every time. Maybe
Huh?
Remember, like he never gave you people edit at all. He like always asked me for some reason. It's like why?
Yeah. Well then, and then it was like finally one day I was like, yo, bro, like if you have me on this shit, why aren't you like doing anything? And he was just basically like, go ask Dead Shadow yourself. And I was like, what do you fucking mean, dude? And then I got
I don't control that. What?
Yeah, it's just really dumb.
Like we can both make the person. You could take whoever's version he likes better and call it a day. I mean, he did that with Christian Chambers. Like I made Christian Chambers like 2 weeks before Kenny did, and he randomly switched it out of nowhere.
Well, I think he told him to do that for what's his name, Christian Chambers. I think he was told to change Christian Chambers.
I don't know. It looked like it was basically just the same version of mine.
Yeah, I don't know what was changed. I never really looked into it like that, but I know that that was a thing where it was like Kenny Bowers made Christian Chambers after you made him, and I know that he was like told to do it. Like it wasn't like he decided like I'm gonna make this guy better. It was like whatever WCC's issue was, you know, he couldn't just explain it to you and have you fix it. He had to have somebody else do it behind your back. Like I don't know. That to me, that's not how you do shit. Like that's not how you do business. Whenever I had a problem with WCC, I always confronted about it, and I never came at him sideways until he'd come at me like I was a child, and then I would get upset because, like, dude, come on, how many times have we talked about? Like, we're the same fucking age. You know what I mean? Like, it's just weird that he would like default into treating me like I'm a teenager because that's how he treated everybody else. And I mean, it's not like I needed preferential treatment, but it's like, dude, I'm a grown up. Treat me like a fucking grown up. Like, don't think I'm fucking ignorant. I don't pay attention, and I don't, you know what I mean? Because that's how he would play me. Like, I just didn't pay attention. Like, he would tell me, like, did you watch you and Kaiju's match? You guys didn't look like you guys had good teamwork. And it's like, if you watch any of our matches, we were like the fucking Revival out there. Like, are you kidding me? Like I don't know. It's just like, but like that's the stuff that's so ridiculous to me. It's like you're so fucking high and drunk talking shit with your drunk buddy that you don't even pay attention to what you're talking about. Then you have the nerve to shit talk to people who do the work. So your show. Bullshit. And that's why I don't want to go back. And that's why when I was asked to go, I don't mind having the conversation. I wasn't going to have it when I was asked to have it because I was in transit to my house from my job. I was sleepy and I didn't want to talk to dude. You know what I'm saying? But I would have gladly talked to him another time about it. But the truth is, I don't want to go back to WCC. I would never go back to WCC. He could literally promise me the world. It doesn't matter because I know it's all bullshit. Also, at the same, and I mean, his promise is bullshit. His word is bullshit. It means nothing. So I would never go back. I'm not saying WCC.
Your mic's kind of cutting out.
I mean, I think we all at one point had some fun. I think we all appreciate that
Your
Just put it in the DM thing
for
so
this,
you know.
it wasn't cool. It was basically like a fucking like in Gun Hill. Started to realize through more private conversation that it was all about him. It was all about him getting his jollies off, him showing his friends who claim and being like, oh, this commitment. You know what I mean? That he runs
Kane-No,
shit.
you're gonna have some hell of an
Like, I don't
editing
know.
job to have to deal with.
the fuck you mean editing job?
We don't work hard. Come on.
Yeah,
Like,
Ay.
I think what Emo's trying to say, I might be wrong, but something about
that, like, and like I said again, I can't hate. I mean, I wouldn't have known any of you if that didn't exist. You know what I mean? I wouldn't know Kaiju if it didn't exist.
Okay, his
Maybe
mic's
would have
good.
found
Emo,
a
your
way.
mic's breaking up.
yeah, your mic was basically busted as fuck.
I think he can only hear us like when his mic's good and not fucking up.
Yeah, but I think
No, I could hear you guys being like, that's what I'm hearing.
Yikes.
that's a big yikes.
It was
Sans who?
my Wi-Fi was.
But
No,
yeah,
I could hear
it was
all the
screwed
shit
up
you
for
guys
like
were
that
saying.
whole 2 minutes.
yeah, I was legit like I wanted to know what the hell was going on because
Like it was in and out before, like a few of the
yeah.
other times, but that one was like just completely unable to.
But correct me if I'm wrong. You was trying to say that the reason why that WCC actually made this or whatever is to basically impress his friends or something.
I think it's to entertain himself and stroke his own ego. And I know for a fact that he's told me he showed his friends that think he's a dork, and they've all been like, "Who's the fucking announcer? He sounds like a cool dude." You know what I mean? And he's like, "I'm the announcer." They're like, "No fucking way, bro." And he's like, "Yeah, that's me." And that makes him feel cool. You know what I mean? Like,
I remember that.
Such great friends that you don't even recognize your man's voice. Come on.
well, yeah, I mean,
Right.
yeah, trust me, this is all things that came across my brain. But like that was a conversation. Yeah, I think both me and Zach heard that because I think we were both in there together at the same time. But
Yeah.
it's just like, but Zach, think about how many times where you were in that conversation with him where he was trying to stroke your ego, but at the end of the day, it was all about how much fun he was having fucking with our shit. You know what I mean?
That.
Like, and it's just like, I don't know. Like he okay, before he kicked me out, part of the thing was he was telling me about Elevate and how he's gonna do the NWO thing and all this
Ugh.
stuff. But it's like, dude,
Which
how are
DBOs
yeah.
so mad at?
How are you going to make a stable out of people who at some point either joined your thing or didn't even join your thing and just lump them up together because you think it's cool? Like, what? Like, I think maybe if you wanted to use the power of suggestion and say, like, me and Zach weren't in the covenant, he came up to us and was like, hey, why don't you guys do this? And it made sense. Like, that's different. But if you just like throw them together because A, they don't care or they don't know, or they, like, that's weird.
It's about choice. You gotta know what you're doing. You're not gonna be invested in something that you're just thrown into.
Yeah, and like how many times did he say to everybody, if you guys want to do something, tell me. Or if you guys want to talk about something, come talk to me. Because he said it all the time in public, but then never, ever, ever followed up on any of that stuff with anybody. Like
I know that I will give him a little credit. Every time that I asked for a match, he got it for me 90% of the time. That's mainly because I was just like, please. I would remind him like 2 or 3 times during the week, make sure he was gonna do it, so then he would do it.
But it shouldn't be like that, though.
Also, yeah, I mean, there should be a lot of things going on. Like, there was a suggestion that I made to him. Sorry, Zach, but that he actually had somebody like read the promos and suggest matches to him based off of promos if he couldn't have the time to do it by himself. But he denied that because he doesn't want to give anybody else any type of authority at all. And that's not even really authority. It's just like a suggestion, you know? It's like, Okay, Kano, you run an eFed, you run a few eFeds, but say one of your eFeds had a bunch of people RPing, but you're running 3 eFeds. You got a lot of shit going on. If you could just have somebody read through those promos and be like, hey, these should be good matches for this week's card, and you can figure out the rest, that would be helpful, right?
Bruh. That's
like,
basically me.
Huh?
Like that actually is how I will operate, because like, first of all, if I do run a Fed that's mostly other player participation and I run other shit too, I will of course like have somebody read that shit, come to me, I read it, and we just start working something out. Like that's how you're supposed to run a freaking Operation E-Fed like that. And what
Yeah, I
WCC
agree.
and like what WCC's doing is like, first of all, why the fuck I'm still there?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. He tricks us. He tries to trick us, because I don't say he's tricked us all, but because the conversation I had with Rex last week was like, oh, don't you want to be on the big stage? And I was like, look, Rex.
What big stage?
Exactly.
It's like 10 more people.
Exactly. Not even. I remember the only time I've ever live streamed OWA since I opened it on Discord, I had more people in my fucking room than he did at the same time, and he has 1,000 people in his fucking Discord server, and I have 35. So, it's like the Instagram thing. When a girl has 1 million followers, but she only gets 1,000 likes on her pictures, the numbers don't add up. It's
all bots.
Yeah, it's all bullshit. There is no big stage. It's his stage that he's tried to convince people is some sort of big stage that it's not.
You want to speak about big stage? I was the admin of the server at one point, and WCC never realized that.
Yeah, he didn't even know.
I literally wiped the server. I told them. I was like, sure, I'll get back. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, and it's just like, come on, man. Like, and Rex said to me last week, you want to, he basically tried to make it like, oh, we should all go back and make, do this whole like, it could be like the big time again. And it's like, bro, there is no big time. And if you go back, then he wins. You know what I mean? Then he becomes the big time, because we've all admitted that we can't do it without him, which isn't true, because we all are doing it without him. So why go back? If I can cut out the middleman, why wouldn't I cut out the middleman? You know what I mean?
It's not like he has hundreds in views and he's making a lot of money from it. No. We're at this point, we're all just having fun doing it. And we wouldn't have fun if we were in WCC right now, because we'd have to work through all these different hoops, we have to make the story for ourselves and try to just knock them on the head saying, here's what you need to do, let's do it.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is like, okay, why? I remember there was a night when he told all of us that were like Discord members that we couldn't be on the stream for some reason.
Because everyone was OP apparently, except for his original edits, which were just stolen edits from PS4.
My edit was 18 or 20 edit points below the 200 limit for Junior at that moment, so he was lying. But he fucking, on the end of the stream, says, join our Discord server, blah, 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 blah. Why would anybody want to join your fucking Discord server, bro? If you literally banned everybody from the Discord server without giving them an explanation. He told me his reason. He wrote me this long-ass thing. He said he was going to post it publicly. Didn't do it. Then I had to go tell Zach, hey, Zach, champion of WCC, as your friend that's in your group, not the guy who runs the show, I have to tell you, you're not participating because this fucking asshole doesn't have the balls to tell you himself.
I never participated anyways. I had 7 matches in 1 month and was never seen from since.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, you fucking asked this guy to fucking make all of your edits because you can't do it on your own, and you can't even let him get anything in. Like, nothing. And then what's your excuse? Oh, well, I thought you'd just be fine with the fact that all these guys I'm having you make are made by you. And it's like, there's no personal connection to that. Like, come on, dude. Like, I remember one of the first things I said to you when we started talking was like, do you give a fuck about all these edits that you make for other people winning? And you were like, nope. And I was like, I thought so. Like, like,
if they win, cool. Like, why not? Well, I mean, if they lose, they lose. Everyone's OP'd anyways to the moon.
Yeah. So to me, it was just like, I don't know. it was just weird because it would be like all you had to do was talk to people and like fact check, and you realize that everything was BS. I know that there are people who are really wrapped up in the RP, I guess, or wrapped up in like the chase or like the imaginary world of like, oh, like I'm a pro wrestler, like I can make suggestions and it'll happen because I'm a badass, blah 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 blah. And it's like you still gotta talk. Like we're all humans, right? Like we can't just fucking like bark at each other all day and not like the people in WWE, for instance. Like backstage, it's not like they all just stare daggers at each other and don't talk to each other and shit like that. Like, did he expect us not to like have conversation? Like, I remember how like weirded out he was when I told him that me and Kane-No were fucking trying to make an E-Fed together a long time ago. And he was all like, "What? You guys are what?" Because our characters were butting heads, And
Remember the Muhammad Hassan thing I did, and he blamed me the week later for the Kane-No thing?
Oh, yeah.
The Muhammad Hassan. Wait.
Yeah, when I posted some stupid Muhammad Hassan thing, like on Zach's thing, and he asked me something, and like I was on Zach's computer the whole time. And then he blamed me for doing that like a week later when the fake Kano showed up to pretend to be
you were
you.
on Zach's computer via Parsec, so he thought like you were like hacking shit or something?
Yeah, like even though Zach was literally in it, I showed him Zach was in it.
I don't know, man. It's just weird. I just like, okay, so like the fake Kano thing was a thing, but like I didn't understand like who was gaining anything from that. You know what I mean? Like that's why I went to find Kano right away and was
Kano anyways. So
like when the second that I saw it, I went to FPO because I knew that's where I could find Kano. Because that was like the only place where we coexisted at that point, as far as like both were in the same space. So I could like be like, hey dude, this is happening. I know it's not you. So if people try to blame you, like, don't worry, I got your back. Like, and at that point we hadn't talked for a while, but I felt like I had to tell him like, yo dude, like I know that's not you. So if anybody tries to say you hacked their shit, like I'll stand up for you. You know what I mean? Just because that's how it was bullshit. Like I said right away, I was like, come on, man, this doesn't look like anything Kano would have wrote.
It took me
like,
3 seconds.
Like, get the hell out of here. This doesn't look like something Kano would have wrote, period. Like, I had enough DM conversation. I had enough back and forth via RP. I had enough, you know what I mean? Out of all the people in WCC, I was about to say OWA. Out of all the people in WCC, up until the point where Kano was kicked out the first time. Well, you haven't been kicked out a second time, but I'm just saying, because you're back now. But when you got kicked out, was the people I talked to the most up until that point were Zach, Kaiju, and Kano. Like, me and Kano would be fucking yelling at each other in RP, but we would still be trying to talk to each other and be cordial until the point where I just felt like it was all starting to be BS. And I don't really want to talk about that because, like, I don't know if you guys talked about it or whatever last week, because I know that you probably touched on the fact that you were pissed when you got kicked out the first time. Like, to me, it wasn't that I was mad or like, it's like a parent thing, dude. When people say like, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. Like, that's just how I felt. Cause I know you're like, in my opinion, you've told me this and I've said this to you 1,000 times and you always deny it. I know you're a good dude. Like, I know that you like have a really good heart. I look at the way that you treat certain people and the way that you act in real life, not in RP. You're a good person. You have a kind heart. You care about people. Like, to me, that was the Kano that I mean, I didn't need you to be that person as your character, but like I felt blindsided. I felt like ambushed because we could have like a civil conversation and then like in RP you were just doing crazy shit that was just like, what is going on, bro? Like, I don't know. And I just felt like it was weird because like I tried to maintain a disconnect between myself and real life and the character because that's a fucking character. I made him as a joke, emo boy. Like, he is a joke. He's literally made to be what he like, obnoxious, X-Pac-y, you know what I mean? But he was never meant to be like pushed to the moon. He was meant to be like a guy who got his ass kicked. Look at how he's built. He's built tiny. He's really skinny. He looks kind of like a girl. He yells like a girl. Like, all of that stuff. Like, he wasn't
remember when Nick Infante kept saying that like your character wore lipstick?
Yeah, and he
And, like,
clearly didn't. I
eyeliner.
think he was just like combining our characters in his brain because he's stupid. And and like, sorry, but yeah, I remember
You're
that,
fine.
and it was like in real life. I'd have to say to these idiots, like, dude,
If
Emo
anyone
Boy.
wears makeup, it's me.
There was a moment where I had to say that to Nick. I was like, Nick, you're confusing me. Zach Roper, me, different guy. Sorry, like I don't know what's going on. But like, yeah, it's just like the levels of disrespect from that guy was crazy. The like Nick Infante, the shit that he would say to Zach was like ridiculous to
Yeah.
me. To me, it was ridiculous. It's like, dude, this is supposed to be the guy that is held on the highest regard, and you literally called him a clown. Like that
He
doesn't
wouldn't
make
even
sense.
interview me after I won the belt. Like I
Feel
had to go
bad. Face good.
I had to go in and force an interview and have Emo Boy as my hype man. Pretty much when I was like talking shit to him, saying I won the belt twice in a row in the span of 3 months, and you never once wanted to give me an interview.
Yeah, he'd give
Like,
Jay
that's
Bomber a
bullshit.
fucking interview every day.
Yeah, I beat Jay Bomber, and I pretty much called him Queen Bomber, but
Yeah.
he would just run to him and do interviews, and I'm like, dude, why the fuck are you like interviewing losers when you got me, who is like, I'm doing the best I've ever done at WCC, and you never once want to interview me. Like he would even say
the
on
Nick Infante
stream,
All-Stars.
he would always on stream like pretty much like talk shit about me.
I agree.
And I'm like,
I 100% agree.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, I am your WCC champion. You need to give me respect.
Zach, I love that photo.
Y'all, can y'all just check the freaking Discord chat? It's sent.
Oh man. Great. For those listening, it is. I think it's Mar and Jay. They're fighting ghosts. It's a Nintendo Switch game by the title of Spoopy. E for everyone, just so we can all be there and watch it.
I feel like them shooting guns, it would be at least TV
Maybe
portrait.
Jay has a new gimmick.
T or whatever.
T.
Yeah, I guess. Good for him. Good for him. Oh man. But yeah, I mean, like I said before, WCC had its moments, right? I think we can all agree at some point or another we all had fun there. Maybe not Dead Shadow because he was just work and never got any reward for it because he never let his guys have matches for whatever reason. But
they were 7-0. That's probably why. And they were an OP or anything at that point.
Yeah, I think that it was, it had its time, but I think for those, and I'm not trying to insult Kane-No because I think you don't really want to be there, but I think that for most of us who have been there and experienced it and have a functioning brain, you don't want to be there anymore because it's just not fun. Like, it's not fun to have somebody literally ruin stuff that you put effort into. Like, I don't know.
Hey,
that
Lance
to me
can
is
only
annoying.
finally figured it out.
Yeah, right. And he was literally given everything he wanted every time he asked.
Yeah, they're all champions. They're all champions over there.
I'm just gonna leave this in the freaking photo. But like, I gotta cover clean a little bit. The reason why I actually did come back to WCC was actually for one reason. And me and Kamish did talked about it when he sees when he ended up randomly texting me back. Well, not back, but just
in general texting me.
What we actually talked about was like Kane-No return just for one match against Zach Roper for the third fucking time. And the thing is, I was on board with it because in my thing, like in my mind, I hate not finishing a storyline that has a lot of potential that could go really fucking far. And we literally scheduled that like maybe me return at formerly known as Zach Rober's Mosh Pit, which would be actually kind of really fun just to actually just return there, beat up Zach. Maybe he loses the belt, maybe he retains the belt, whatever. I don't care. Kane returns, beat up Zach, and maybe down the line, like I don't know when, but maybe for Summer Stage. Yeah, like Summer Stage. I fucking hate that name, but like But like him fighting Zach at Summer Stage, just the big blow off, you know?
Yeah, the big blow off match. Yeah.
And then
You
what
built up
happened?
to it.
And then what happened? The motherfucker left. And I'm here,
Well,
and I'm over here looking stupid, you know, just duking up Zach the moment he left. I'm like, yo. So I duked him up, and I can't find him no more.
yeah, and
That was
what did
fun.
he ever tell you? Did he ever tell you that Zach was leaving? Because he knew Zach was leaving before that.
Nope. Now I'm over here looking dumb and elevate, just being me and
Classic WCC move.
I don't know.
I had this thing that I really wanted to say is that for our time being here, well, was there in WCC, we all seen the goods, the bads, the uglies, and the fucking horrific. Because I'm hearing somebody snacking in my goddamn ear. But yeah, like from our time being there, it was fun. It was really fun. But in my opinion, whenever we wanted to do what we want to do to basically be our character exaggerated and like wanting to be ourselves in our characters, we really can't do it because fuck you, that's why. And it's just it's so freaking weird to me. Like I've been in some e-fest where I could legit be myself. Well, before the Kane-No era to Fire Pro. Being on some e-fest, be like, you know, like just cut promos, having fun, and basically interacting with other people that you don't really hate, but you hate in character.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing is like from us doing all of that, it's so. And then we come to this point where we in WCC where it's supposed to be the big time, the big lights, the big stages, the pyro, the whole vibe of it. It's so awesome, and we did. And then later on, we like, there's some WWE shit right here. What the fuck?
Yeah, this isn't it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's not it.
And like, it's like I wanted to help book the damn show in my mind, and I really don't want to. Like, the thing is, I did this little PM to like some of my, to like a good friend of mine, well, some friends of mine, and the whole PM was just a match card. And the match card is basically like this, right? So you have like on the server, you got the freaking match card on and stuff. What I did there, I don't know if I actually said it last episode, but what I did is that I take all the bonus matches, put them on a separate like slot, like time slot, which is the pre-show, and just have the regular matches be on the main show, and that's basically it. That's all it is. Just bonus match, pre-show, then the rest of the card, the main card, main show. That's all I fucking did.
Yeah, but the card's usually like 15 matches long to begin with.
That's why I said
like
put it on the
3
pre-show.
hours long.
Yeah, I hate long shows. I really do.
Yeah,
unless it's 2K. 2K is kind of acceptable, but Fire Pro there's no fucking acceptance for that shit.
Dude, there was definitely WCC shows that were like 6 hours long.
Yes.
Because
I believe
he took 20 minutes to select a character. He fucking fucked it up. The game glitched 3 times on the intro. He had to quit the whole game. You know what I mean? All that shit every single week. And that's the shit. As somebody who owns the game on PS4, and my game has never shut the fuck down in the middle of a match or spit out the 2 wrong fucking guys in the fucking entrance or any of that shit, was just frustrating to me because it's like, dude, if you didn't fuck with this game so much, your fucking show would come out looking cleaner. But you fucked it up so bad. Like, I don't know, man. To me, it was like really annoying because it's like, to anybody who's ever played the game, and that's kind of what he's going off of, the fact that most of the people that were watching and RPing didn't actually own the game. But the truth is that the people who were good at it and invested in their character did own the game. Me, Zach, Kaiju, Rex, Kane-No, fuck, you know what I mean? Like, you can't pull the wool over our eyes. We've seen it all. Like, you can't tell me some bullshit and expect me to be like, okay, because I don't know any better, because I do. And that was what start, same with Bowers. Like, even though he fell for that glitch bullshit with that fucking, what's it called, mod, the tag team mod. But it was just weird. I don't know. It's just weird. It was one of those things where it's like, come on, like, you can't fucking lie to us constantly and expect us to just be okay with it.
Yeah, that's
like,
really what it comes down to.
If you got WCC on this call and asked him if he modded match results, he would say no. Everybody in this room knows that's a goddamn lie.
Dude, I remember he had a VC where he had everyone in, and he pretty much was like showing all his mods.
Yeah, and then remember he backed out of the screen before he reopened it?
Yeah, I remember that. And like that was also when he told you that like if you were in SWA or whatever that he would pretty much bury you. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Which, I mean, he knew he couldn't do. That's why he had to kick me out.
Like, my whole problem, and like maybe this is a weakness of mine, but like I don't care what happens to me. I care what happens to my friends and people I'm really close to. So when that shit was happening, I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I pretty much because I felt like a big brother for a lot of you guys, and I felt like he was taking advantage of you. I felt like he was bullying you guys, and I'm like, dude, you gotta fucking stop, or we're gonna leave.
Well, what I would say to that is I'm always playing the long game in a situation like that. So to me, it's like because if he paid attention, he would have known I already had an alternate emo boy ready because I knew he's a fucking piece of shit.
Right.
Like, so like I had no
Indie
problem.
boy, the goat.
Yeah, I had no problem fucking around and making a joke out of the fact that he was trying to tell me I couldn't use my own fucking intellectual property. Like, come on, dude. He doesn't own anything. He doesn't own Emo Boy. Like, I could fucking make it. Like, I made a disclaimer on my fucking PS4. If you see Emo Boy by anybody else, it's not the real one because I created the dude. If you see WCC, even fucking Rex, after Rex saw that, Rex DM'd me like, I'm going to change my emo boy in his own personal eFed to be mine rather than his version that he made of my character. You know what I mean? Because he read that, I guess, as me talking shit to him, but it wasn't to him. It was more about WCC. Because I know the type of shit he would do is just use the default emo boy that he first used and act like it was no big deal because he knows I was never going to watch that shit again. I've literally not watched 1 second of WCC after I left. Not 1 second. Not the fucking Zach Roper tournament. Not the fucking Kane-No return. Not anything. I didn't watch it because I don't care. I told you that, Kane-No. I don't care that much about it. I like the game. I like creating the characters. I like watching the shit that happens when I create the characters because usually that shit is fucking awesome. I don't want to watch his bullshit. I don't have to. So why would I go back?
One of my things is that, like, I remember I was talking to Kaiju about like when Kaiju wanted the rematch against Kane-No. Like, one thing he did say that actually kind of had my mind a little bit clicking is when he was like, he wants the match, but he doesn't really want the fucking mods, like, to be like the mods to interfere in how the match gonna be, which is actually
because
I was like, damn, I feel you on that one, bro. So,
dude, there was
Like
the day.
yeah.
The day that he yelled at me on the thing about not being in other people's feds, that was the thing I basically was saying to him was like, then don't run me in modded matches. You know what I mean? Like, I know what it looks like when the game's not modded. I know what my character fights like. Don't fuck with me, because I made my guy. Like, you can't fucking swing the fucking tables on me with a fucking mod. That's not cool. Like, you can't just change shit behind my back by cheating. Like, dude, everybody knows J Bomber was OP. He fucking OP J Bomber to the fucking moon. He beat Kaiju for his title in a match where Kaiju's character actually beat him in some fucking weird game glitch where the characters changed. And then
Wait, what the?
WCC, instead of accepting the result for what it was, which was was that Kaiju's guy won as J Bomber. He said, "Fuck it, we're gonna do it all over again." So J Bomber won. Like, come the fuck on, and never gave Kaiju a rematch for it.
Yeah, that's some bullshit.
Yeah.
He never gave Kaiju a rematch for it. That shit made me mad. That's why I challenged J Bomber, because it was like, man, you're so fucking OP. Like, I don't want to fight you now because this shit makes me mad. Like, the man's quit. He left for a month. You know what I mean? Like,
he was mad because I beat him as well.
Kaiju?
That was like another thing.
Kaiju was?
No, I thought you were talking about
Kaiju.
Oh,
no,
I'm
talking about Kaiju
J Bomber.
No, I could care less about J Bomber leaving. I was talking about Kaiju leaving when left for that month before he came back and joined the Coven. Like,
oh yeah, that's
Kaiju
right.
were fucking playing the game, simming the game. Like, basically the week after he left, I was in his ear like, let's be a tag team. Come back if you come back. You know what I mean? And then it just so happened that you two had also talked about him joining the Coven. So at that point, I was like, we're doing this. Like, and that's why we literally ran with it the second he came back, because we already were ready to go. We had it set up. And that's what made me like, he was like, oh, we got all this stuff for you. You know, he books us in these matches. We win a whole bunch of matches. Then he books us in a match where it's clearly fucking modded. And it's like, come on, bro. And then he's going to tell us we don't wrestle good. And then he books us in that match against that G.I. Joe team because he says their logic is so great. And what do? Whip their fucking ass. And then he puts us against the fucking, I forget, the Cook brother? I can't remember. We win the championship, clearly modded for us to win the championship. I was so fucking mad, dude. Like, there was no way we won that legit. That makes me mad. I would have rather lost than won that way. That's just how I am. Like, and that's why it's like, don't mod my matches, bro. That's why I feel Kaiju on saying don't mod my matches. Because I run a clean, unmodded game, and I see what happens with my character. And the only thing I can say that makes my dude do this dumb shit that happened on his game is the fucking mods. That's all it can be.
Like,
because I know.
My bad.
No, it's okay. You can say what you want. I was just saying, like,
but like how I operate with how I operate with mods is like more fairer than WCC. Like, I don't really use all the mods. The only mod I really want is the easy theme because I'm fucking lazy.
Exactly.
Right.
Sometimes the Torina database just to make my underground fighting, club.
That's cool.
Backstage brawls.
That's
and all
cool.
that
Those
shit.
are cool. The what's it called is fine. The collar and elbow thing is fine.
Yep.
The one where they skip the grapple animation, that one's fine.
I'm kind of iffy on that one.
Again, the collar and elbow though.
More matches are also pretty good.
And like the thing is like I also use the like the game text like before matches because I love Fire Pro Return when they did that. It's simple, easy, and makes me won't forget what the hell I'm recording. So like
the text at the beginning of the shit. Yeah.
And like the thing is like Kaiju doesn't want the match to be modded. I agree with that. But I also told him I'm going to use certain mods not for the match like manipulation, but for just
for visual or whatever.
So when Kaiju and Kane-No fought, Kane-No won by 10 minutes using the red rum. I'll be honest with you, I didn't really want Kane-No to win like that. That's why in the show I have Kane-No, saying that I know you don't want to lose like that. I know you don't really want to just lose to me in a short matter of time. So I'm gonna do something for you. Let's restart the match, but this time 30-minute Iron Man. And then Kane-No and Kaiju beat the living shit out of each other to the point it was a draw. I was satisfied with that.
They tied.
I marked out over that for real. And the fucking Zack versus Mike Rivers joint. Oh my god, that ending was. I had to double take
the best result. The best results you can get in Kaiju matches, in my opinion, is when you get the fucking knockdown drag out like you got in your 30-minute Iron Man match where it's just back and forth, just annihilation. That's why I wanted to team with him, because the idea of my character's chaos and his character's fucking attack like that, it just made so much sense. You know what I mean? Like especially for a tag team, like to have somebody like his character is quick because it is a junior, or it was. I think he changed him to a heavyweight now.
He's a
but he
fucking
was a
Shingo
junior.
Takagi. That's all you gotta say.
Yeah, he's a fucking beast. He's a tiny beast.
He's a
whatever.
powerhouse junior.
Yeah, and it was a good mix. So like it, and I like the guy. He's a good guy. I like his personality. We mesh well together. He's shorter on his words than I am, but we are thinking the same thing a lot of the time. So it's easier for me to communicate what he's, like I can say what I want, and I know he's gonna agree with it. So I like that team a lot because it was really natural. It felt really cool. It sucks that we had to basically get separated by me getting kicked out. He didn't leave when I left either. He made him lose a match with George and Cena.
Gross.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, like, and he told WCC, I'm not defending the belt without Emo Boy as my. So he, you know what I mean? Like he told him, like, I don't want to do that, and he still made him do it because he needed to get the belt off of him, and he wasn't going to swallow his pride and bring me back for that match. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't going to run back to me like I need you, because he couldn't do that.
I'm surprised he didn't just vacate. Honestly,
I'm surprised he didn't just have my guy in the match and not tell me. But he would have known somebody else would have told me at that point. But at that point, he realized that some of us were actually friends. You know what I mean? Because when he came to Kaiju with the whole Emo Boys, not your friend, you guys, because he came to all of them guys, and Zach, you can attest to it. He tried to like rat me out, like I was some bad guy for coming forward and being like,
so.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it was one of those things where it was just like, it was. I got put in between a rock and a hard place while I couldn't do anything publicly in that place. You know what I mean? Like he kicked me out, then he tried to turn all my people against me while I couldn't do anything about it except talk to them in DMs, which I mean was enough because we all talked enough and had a strong enough relationship that he couldn't break it. But like he tried to sabotage the thing and make it my fault and act like I ruined the good thing, and I don't think that that's the case. All I did was say, hey dude, talk to Zach Roper, he's your world champion, and he wants to leave because you're an asshole. Like, I mean, I didn't say exactly that, but in so many words I said that. Like, you got to talk to your guy, because we can all agree. And this is the thing I was saying before about like what he does with like Rex or Tejano. He was doing the same. Like he made everybody feel like he was just giving everything to Zach. I know that for a fact because I've heard people say it. Zach doesn't have to do shit. He just gets and gets and gets and gets. But the thing is like, dude, Zach was being treated like shit for a fucking champion, dude. And Kane-No, to the same respect, you were treated like shit too. And I understand why you didn't want to get booked in a match every week. But at the same time, when you came into the situation before you won the belt, all you talked about was how you were going to bring prestige back and you were going to wrestle and be the wrestling wrestler and all this shit. And then you won, you acted like an asshole. That's what frustrated me about that.
I understand. Just rethinking and rehearing that about how I want to bring prestige, I am cringing. Like, damn, I can't believe I actually fucking say some dumb shit like that, especially for this wrestler named Kane-No. That's odd.
I mean, it is what it is, and I don't know where I don't know where it came from, but that was what you remember. You wanted to make the LWL thing because you wanted to make pure wrestling, and you wanted to do. And I know that you like wrestling a lot, and you enjoy good wrestling. You know what I mean? So like, I get why you'd want to do that, but I don't know why you'd want to say that with that character in particular because
that
of who
is
he
a
is.
good question. That is a good question. Wait. That just hit me now. I think the reason why I actually said that is actually because all the WCC matches I keep seeing and how they always end either abruptly or end with something weird happening. And how the
Well, that
match
was part of
structure
the.
is. That's probably why. Like,
Well, I think part of it was that's what kind of where you were at that point on your kind of like 25-minute match kick. Like you wanted, if you were in it, you wanted it to be like a classic style match, especially if you're going to be at that level. Because you kept talking about like work ethic wrestling. You know what I mean? Like workhorse style wrestling, like Bret Hart wrestling. And to me, like, I think that in general, you just wanted to see WCC look like that, but it was projected as if that's what you were going to do. You know what I mean?
Now that actually makes sense for real.
But that was the only thing that made me upset when
Here
stuff
comes the
was the fact that you literally said with your mouth. Say what now?
He was kind of a little pricking up a little bit. That's the thing.
Yeah. No, what I was saying was the fact that when you say I'm gonna, be a prestigious champion, and I'm gonna bring prestige back to the WCC, and I want to make it more like real professional wrestling. And then you get the belt and start doing the whole opposite, where it's like, oh, I don't want to wrestle nobody. Fuck all you guys. You guys are all assholes. I don't want to be part of this. Here's your belt. It's going in the river. Fuck this too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was confusing to me. And then it was more confusing because when we would talk, everything seemed cool. But then when we would go into the WCC space, it was always so malicious at times. And it was like, man, where are you at with this? Like, because some of the things you said, and not so much to me, but to other people that are my friend or were my friend and stuff like that, where it was just like, come on, dude, why are you going like this? Like, why are we taking it this far? It doesn't have to go there. And it seemed strange to me because all of our conversations were about how you wanted to have like a pure style, and maybe you just meant for the company in general or for the company that we were thinking of, but when you would actually say it in promos, which you did a couple of times, it muddied the water. And that's where it was just kind of confusing, as not really from an RP perspective, but like from a personal perspective, as somebody who was trying to be a friend at the time, trying to be, somebody like I talked to you almost every day at that point. It's not like we weren't social. We were trying to build something together because honestly, I think that if we did, especially at that point in time, because neither of us had been frustrated by the game or anything like that, like we could have had something cool with you having a PC division and me having a PS4 division of the same league, where then we could commingle the two. And with the quality of match that either of us can produce, it would be fun. And it would have a good mix of somewhat different styles, but still have a good quality. But like, we just never got to do it, and it sucks. And I mean, at this point, I have OWA, which I was doing and stopped doing for a while because being emo boy was way too much fun at sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, I had other characters I wanted to bring to WCC, but then I would get on board and I was like, fuck it, I don't want to do that anymore.
Knowing you guys, it would have been something.
Well, I created Iceman Carter for WCC, and I was gonna write rap promos like as Iceman Carter, but then something happened, and I was like, fuck it, I don't need to do that anymore. I gotta put my attention back over here. But it was just being somebody who's like actually creative within the game and not just RPing a character. Like, if he would get me bored, I would start coming up with other ideas for something totally other than emo boy, and then just something would happen where it would just be like, oh, this is fun again, and then OWA was put on hold until maybe I don't know, a month before he kicked me out, or I can't remember. I can't remember if it was March or April, but it wasn't a spite thing. It was OWA was a thing I was streaming before I made the Discord, before I made official shows, before I joined WCC. That's how he found me. Was on Twitch streaming OWA. And he hit me up with the, oh, hey, your characters are cool. Do you want to join my thing? And I was like, whatever, why not? Because I was just going to throw Emo Boy in there and let it be funny, because to me, Emo Boy is, like I said, like kind of a joke on or a spin opposite 360 on Macho Man. So it's just like, I'm going to act tough. I'm going to talk shit. my character is going to look like a little girl. He's going to scream like a girl in the game. He's going to fight kind of at first like really dirty, and then it evolved over time into more technical. But like the idea was just to piss people off, and it worked really fucking good to the point where he got pushed beyond his means, and I had to like readjust everything. And that's when I slicked his hair back and started talking with a lot of big words and stuff, because at that point it was me like owning up to the fact that like I got pushed beyond my means, and now I have to adjust to being like a top tier type of character. And then he would just fucking put his ceiling on it. Like he would see me go so fucking high. Like I remember I challenged Mr. Fantastic to a match, and I wanted a death match. He didn't give it to me. He made it a regular match. The match was really fucking awesome. It was like 20 minutes, 100%. He beat me because his character was 250 points and mine was 180. Cool by me. But it was a great fucking match. I got what I wanted. But then next week he gave Zach Roper and fucking Mr. Fantastic the match I wanted. And it was like, what the fuck, dude? Like that was my idea.
Are you talking about the first match or the second match?
The death match. I wanted the death match, and then you guys had the death match the next week. I asked for that match in a promo, and he gave me a regular
the Texas death match. Got you.
And he gave me a regular fucking match. I said any type of death match. I said cage death match, barbed wire death match, Texas death match, doesn't matter. And he gave me nothing. And then he gave you guys Texas death match the next week. And it was like, what the fuck? So you'll take my idea and tell me it's not good enough for my guy who just, I mean, I had a 100% match with the guy without the stipulation. I would have definitely had a fucking 100% match with the stipulation. I don't know. It just didn't make sense to me. And it was frustrating because it was like, oh, I see you going so high. Now I have to stop you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it is. Like, I asked him for matches against Triple D. He wouldn't give them to me. Why? Dude, come on. Can any of you, like, literally, like, as a fan of the show or as a whatever, tell me there's no reason he shouldn't have gave me that match? Like,
yeah. And you promoing with Triple D would have been just, oh man.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to do it because he doesn't want that guy to lose to me. It's the same thing with Rex. He doesn't want my character to beat Rex's character because then he has to give me the championship. You know what I mean? Like shit like that. And it's like, dude, he told me he didn't want Emo Boy to fight for a heavyweight championship until after he did this Best of Juniors tournament in like August. It's like, bro, are you kidding me, dude? Are you fucking kidding me? August? So 8 months you want me to be a fucking mid-card guy? Well, literally, people watch the stream, talk shit to me. They want, you know what I mean? It's just, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's stupid.
It's crazy.
You were probably like number 2 or 3 like popularity in the company. Like, there's no reason you shouldn't go for a title.
Yeah, I mean, and then he would say it's because you're a junior heavyweight. So then I was like, okay, what's the championship? And he says the belt that Tejano X has. And I said, so why is Tejano X 240 pounds and 250 edit points if he's the junior heavyweight championship? And that was like the beginning of the end for me in WCC because he realized I was hip to his shit. And that's when he did the Leon match where he jobbed both of us out. And you know what I mean? It's just like, it's really manipulative shit that he would do. Like Zach knows, he DM'd me like, you got to watch this when fucking Maya and Brooklyn's tag team broke up. And then he claimed it was fucking organic or whatever he said. I can't remember.
Yeah, you literally can't do that without a mod. There's a way for them to do it naturally through the mod, but like, it's hardly ever going to happen.
Dude, he told me specifically to watch that part. Like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, you were proud of your work. You know what I mean? Like,
that's stupid.
Trying to break it up one of the better teams of the female division. But they had they're probably the only real RPers that were a tag team in his female division, I think.
Yeah, I mean, so shout out our RP for herself and her imaginary partner.
Yeah, so
like I said, the only RPers.
Like, the thing is, from what I'm just read right now, there was supposed to be a 60-minute Iron Man match between Zach and Fantastic.
Yes.
Why the fuck got to be 45? Like, you get 15 more minutes. I mean, shit.
I have no fucking idea. And what happened was, so I was on like a 5-2 roll, I think. I was dominating the match, and then Fantastic, and Fantastic was like catching up, and then it got to the point where he tied, and there's only like 1 minute left to go in the match. My dude fucking hits the switchblade, goes to the cover, and the match ends. I'm like, what the fuck? This accomplished nothing.
Like, bruh, we know what Zach can do with 60 fucking minutes.
Yeah, like if you're gonna do a Iron Man match to break a tie, you gotta make sure the tie is broken, because at that point, like, we're still on even ground. No one got over. It's like, so the whole thing's fucking pointless.
You wasted 45 minutes. Like, literally just wasted 45 minutes.
And so you were mentioning the fact that you wanted like a Texas death match. I to this day still cannot like fathom why, when I cut that promo pretty much challenging all the champions to like one match before the go home show, why he wouldn't do that. And I think it's because he didn't come up with the idea yet. I came up with it.
Where it's possible.
Yeah, it's like, where it's like, all right, let's see who the best fucking champ in WCC is. And I remember he wanted like to voice call me, because he was telling me about his Queen of the Ring thing he was doing. He was setting that up, and he wanted my input and stuff like that. And I'm like, all right, well, it sounds pretty cool. And he told me, he was like, yeah, man, that promo you cut where you challenged all the champions, that's great. I loved it. But like, unfortunately, we can't do that right now. And I'm like, well, why not? And he just pretty much dodged the question or whatever. And I'm like, man, like, that it was like getting to that point where I was like getting frustrated creatively, because I'm like, okay, well, I'm your top fucking champ, and if you're not gonna like, you know, willingly, or if you're not gonna like do a suggestion of mine, what's the fucking point at this point? You know?
Well, and if you had a problem with it, then just give an actual reason.
Yeah, say something. Say something. Give me something.
Okay, we're doing Queen of the Ring. We can't do that right now. Maybe next month we can figure it out.
I don't know. It's just like, that was a definite frustrating thing. It's a people pleaser thing. You know, when people, they have to like dodge certain stuff just to make sure that like they don't like actually piss you off. So like, if you get mad, it's like you getting in your feelings, and it's not really their fault because they never like actually did the thing that makes you mad, you know? And it's just like, come on, just tell me. Like, and I said that like a bunch of times, like, if you don't want my dude to be there, then like, why? Just tell me, and then don't keep on putting me in these situations to do some goofy shit, because like, that's just not cool. Like the Tejano X thing, like, I asked him for the feud mainly because I blew up the whole thing that he was OP'd in his face, and he agreed. He was like, I'll give you a shot at him for his championship, but you got to play out this whole month-long thing. And I was like, fine. I gave him ideas for it that he used, like matches with Royal Flush and shit with Stitch and all that, because they're an FPO. Like, I gave him all these ideas. He used them, and they worked good. And then at the end, we're supposed to have a one-on-one match for the fucking championship, and he throws Leon in and fucked both of us over on purpose.
Like, that should piss me off.
That's just such a thing. Leon always just shows up and messes.
Dude, it was so dumb. Like, it was the dumbest thing ever. And like, I mean, we both, like, I said something to him in a voice chat. Dead Shadow was there about it being fishy. And fucking Tejano said something to me, or, you know, it was like, oh yeah, the match is modded for sure. And then we all just kind of laughed and agreed, you know, like, that shit was definitely modded. Like, there's no way a guy can get fucking 2 criticals off the same move in 30 seconds.
No fucking way.
Like, not a chance. Like, the same shit, 30 seconds, 2 dudes that are better than him. Like, come on, man. Like, what type of no?
The first one I can excuse, but it was like that second one after like maybe a minute or so later, I'm like, okay, there's no fucking way.
No fucking way, dude. So, you know,
I saw that shit and I shook my head.
I make a comment to him about the fact that the match is modded. He's like, oh, it's always modded when the Coven loses. And I was like, dude, I've never said to you that a match was modded before. And I didn't even say it. Fucking Tejano said it to me. So now I'm saying it to you. And he was like, well, I'm going to go tell Tejano, blah, blah, blah. I was like, bro, we just talked yesterday. Like, where do you think this came from? We made the Disco Death match. Like, we made a match, like a revenge match on Leon. And it's fucking hilarious, but he can't run it because he kicked me out before it happened. Or before it was supposed to air, because we pre-recorded it for Tejano's pay-per-view. And so it never got to run it. It's on my YouTube if you want to watch it. And it's pretty funny. We did a revenge thing where we fucking tag team modded and beat the fuck out of him. And then we fought each other at the end. It was a fucking revenge. So, you know, like, it would have been funny. Obviously, what's his name would have freaked out and probably would have bitched and cried and got his belt back.
Oh, but my goodness, yeah.
It would have all been worth it because it would have just been funny as fuck. And
because it's not about getting the title; it's about having it straight. So, yeah.
Yeah, and especially the fact that I just wanted to fight Tejano for the belt. I told him if I don't beat him, I won't ever have to fight him again. I won't bitch about it or nothing. I just want one clean shot at him, even with him OP. Don't even take his edit points down. I just want to fight him. You know what I mean? And he wouldn't even give me the one-on-one for the belt. He threw the fucking kid in there, and then he fucking critical both of us. Like, it was just really dumb.
One thing that we have to bring up, because I know me and you talked about it. This was one of our first conversations about when Zach and Emo, they were WCC wanted them to break up.
Well, no, I wanted to do a thing, and then he tried to force it early. He wanted us to break up at the Zach Roper mosh pit thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do it for like months. Because, okay, I'll explain the dealer thing because I never got to fully explain it because I think that's when I was cutting out.
Yeah.
Dealer of Reality, really cool dude, older guy. He's another guy that's older. Like, he is super, super smart. His edit is kind of really cool. And I like the way the way that he fucking did his promos a lot.
It's very unique.
Also, really early on in him being in WCC, like during a backstage thing, like, you know, during a show, RP type of deal, like he said something to my character. So I just always kept that in my head, you know? And then I watched him do his thing for about a month and was like, this dude's pretty cool. He was cool with Kaiju, which means he's good by me because that's my tag team partner and I trust his judgment. So I was like, cool, I like this guy. Let me talk to him. So I hit up Dealer and I'm like, yo, what do you think about being my bodyguard? But nobody knows it. Like, I literally set out hits. And this was one thing WCC did oblige me on. But it got fucked up because of fucking Leon. But that's a whole different story. I don't know if that was modded. People have tried to tell me it was modded. I didn't see it. So I mean, I saw what happened. I didn't see if he applied a mod or not, so I can't call it. But he critical Dealer and basically a hit match. So my plan was that I was going to have Dealer fight all the people who talk shit to me, but I would never say anything about it. I would just tell WCC who I wanted him to hit. And then he would cut a promo where he would do the letter thing or whatever it was. He like left a note or whatever. And it was Lance Cannoli first. Dealer fucked him up, won. It was supposed to be Leon second, and he fucking lost. And then it was somebody else. I can't remember. He beat him. You know, so like that was the plan. I was going to use him like as a hitman. Nobody was going to know. And the reveal was going to be when we all jumped Zach Roper. And by we all, I mean me, Dealer, Kaiju, and my manager, Maya. Like that was the plan. We were going to have a group, and that was going to be the thing. But he heard my plan, and
so
immediately...
you guys were pretty much going to do the Bullet Club attack on me.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean...
Okay.
Like, that would have been absolutely a headache and a big what the fuck for a whole week.
Dude, it would have been like the greatest fucking swerve ever. Because like at that point, I was pretty much like the top guy of the Coven. So having someone like that I trust that was pretty much like either like a son or a brother figure, pretty much like me in the back. Well, I mean, because because when I first met Emo, like the way he was like RPing and stuff, like I was like, okay, like
he's a kid.
He has a lot of similarities to me. So I'm like, okay, so he's kind of like a mini Zach. But then like as the more I talk to you, I'm like, okay, no, this is more like we're kind of like brothers and stuff. So having someone like that I really cared about and that I trusted stab me in the back, that would have been a very compelling story.
That really would have been for real.
Like it'd be like the one guy I trusted me like the one guy yeah, sorry.
No, you can talk, because I'm just saying, like, I brought in the side, and I don't know, man. It just really made me mad when he dropped the dealer in the coven before anybody knew about it. Did you even know at that point yet? Like, I don't even remember. I just remember somebody DMing me and being like, "Why is dealer in the coven on the stream?" Or because it was in the character select.
It might have been me because I noticed that. Because I talked to like dealer and I was like, I pretty much like told him like what's your thoughts of like possibly joining the coven at some point? Because I feel like your character would definitely fit, because at that point we're pretty much molding it into the whole like hot topic group or whatever. So like I was like, okay, I can definitely tell that he would fit that vibe I'm going for, but like
Hot
then
Topic Bullet Club, yes sir.
pretty much, yeah, pretty much. But yeah, like I knew he would fit the vibe of the group, and like I noticed like one of the streams, like I saw that he was like listed as like one of the members. I'm like, huh, does Dealer know about this? Does Emo know about this? So I messaged you, Emo, saying like, yeah, I noticed that like you might have like told me about it, and then I was like, yeah, I noticed that he was on the gimmick too.
Yeah, because I think it was somebody like Rex who DM'd me like, "Why is dealer in the coven?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he was like, "During the character select thing, I saw him in the coven." And he was like, "Maybe people just won't notice." Because I told him like my end of it, and he was like, "Well, maybe other people just won't notice." You know what I mean? But like other people noticed, and I think it was the next week or the next show, he basically was like, "Yeah, the dealer's in the coven or whatever," and it was just like, "Oh man, like he just blew it." He blew it for me so bad. Like he double blew it because he wanted to like speed up my idea, and then B, he fucking blew it. Like he just blew it the same way he blew me joining. I mean, that just happened to work out because it was like coincidentally the same day that I pulled the brass knuckles trick.
Yeah.
But like if I lost to Furious Frank, that would have been bullshit. You know what I mean? Like it would have made Zach look weak. It would have made me look weak. It would have fucking like, I mean, not like it would have been bullshit, but it would have been, like the fact that he flubbed the debut and I lost, like it would have made it look really stupid. And I remember later on when people debuted in the Coven, oh, that's what happened. He lost to Leon the day that he had to like to say that he was in the Coven. And then I remember on commentary, they made some dumbass comment about when people join the Coven, they lose. And I was like, dude, I won 2 matches the day I joined the fucking Coven. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I won 2 matches. I won with 2 pins that day in the main event and in the match on Furious Frank. So, like, you just are fabricating bullshit about us. You're literally lying about us to make us look bad. Like, and we're supposed to be your top guys. You tell us to our face, you voice chat us, and literally, like, tell us how fucking great we are, and then you lie about us in the thing. You say fuck the Coven in commentary, like things like that. It's just like, where is your head at, bro? Like, how are you the guy who's in charge? How are you the man running the biggest e-fed? Like, that's all BS. It's all BS. And it's only because somehow, some way, he's convinced 10 people that that's the case. And those 10 people are RPing his EFED at the time that it exists. You know what I mean? Like, and then they move on because they're sick of his bullshit.
I had this little theory, right? This was a weird theory of mine. Because it just now, like, clicked on me like a few weeks ago. Like, the theory was this, right? So, raise your hand. Well, I probably can't see y'all, but like, raise your hand.
I don't have my hand.
But raise your hand Tiff, y'all remember King OG?
Oh,
As
yeah,
we wait.
that's a big hands up for me because that was the guy I beat to win the title for the first time.
All right.
I only know who he is because I beat him because like that was what he was talking about when I showed up.
All right.
Otherwise, I don't know who he is because he was off the map when I showed up.
All right.
Yeah.
So since y'all remember King OG, what happened to him?
I
don't
beat
know.
him, and he
I
was
love
never
the fact
seen
that
from
the
again.
few moments of silence. but what you say, Zach?
I was just saying I beat him, and then he was never seen from again.
All right. So
Yeah, I just knew that Zach beat him, and that's it.
all right. So keep that in mind, all right? This is gonna be huge. So moments later, Zach comes champion. Then I beat Zach for the title, and I lost the title, and then I was gone. Remember that too. And
Yep.
then Zach lost the title to Trevista. And then what happened to him now? I don't know. The motherfucker is just he's in the server, but he's not even active. I know he active in FPO. Well,
Yeah, I see him every day talking in FBO.
all right, cool. So Zach, lost the title to Trevista. He's gone. Trevista lost the title to Usei Tonga. We haven't seen Trevista in a while. Well, the last time we saw him, he got jumped by ninjas in the airport on stream.
What about
Whoa, that's a
face-offs?
thing you can do?
I mean,
You can jump a guy in the airport in that game?
not
No, not really. It's a green screen
green
mod.
screen mod, yeah. So yeah, so my
Sounds horrible, whatever it is.
it is fucking horrible. So my point is this, right? Not whoever holds, because not everybody's gonna do this. It's just kind of funny to me. Those guys, yes, I said those guys. That's also include me too. But those guys held the most prestigious title in WCC, and they just left.
You're skipping out on the fact that Rex left with the belt and he kept Mr. Fantastic defending the belt without Rex even being
But here's
there.
the thing: that's the big gold title, right?
Yeah.
That's my point. That's a big gold title. I'm talking about the WCC championship as a whole.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying in general, like
Yeah.
if these are
Yeah, I know
supposed
what
to
you're
be your
saying.
biggest belts on your biggest show, like, and nobody wants to stick around after,
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I feel you. I understand.
Yeah, like I understand too. It's just like it's so like I kind of mentioned that in a promo before, but I I want to say they
Put the
read
belt
it,
over that bridge.
but I don't want to say that they haven't. But what you say, Dad?
They said when you threw the belt over the bridge.
I love that moment.
God, I'll never forget that moment for as long as I live.
So, what was the context
I
for that?
remember
'Cause
exactly where I
wasn't-
was when that happened. I remember I was on my campus. I just finished one of my classes when this was going on. I was setting up for one of my like concerts because like I even like took a picture of like me having the amp and microphone and stuff ready. And when I saw that, I'm like, oh boy, this would be this would be great to RP with.
Yeah, that was some funny shit. That was a funny ass day. Because I'm trying to think of who said they were gonna go fish it out. I remember at one point we made a joke that we were gonna go get it, me and Zach.
I made a joke about that shit. I was like, I don't care as long as I like have the title.
But it's like my whole
what was the consequences of that?
for
Nothing.
the belt throwing or what?
Yeah, like once it was in, like, did he talk to you about it? Like, what happened?
I
I wasn't
completely
there, so I don't know.
forgot, to be honest with you. Like, matter of fact, I could just go scroll it, search it back, and just type in bridge under WCC.
Because I mean, I remember like, and I talked about this last week, but like, I remember he voice chatted with me like the night after or the night of the Road Classic, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm glad that you beat Kane-No because if you didn't, I would have had to do some like screw job bullshit." I'm like, huh, okay.
So you mean 80% of his shows to begin with?
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, I'm trying to find it though for because I'm really interested.
That many people have used Bridge?
No, not in the server, but in private chat, because I know there gotta be something that shit. Even though it's kind of funny though. But like the thing is, like I want to believe that he. So I kind of saw that coming. I kind of saw that little screw job thing coming. I really did because I do not want to believe the fact that he wouldn't do no screwy shit after the hell I gave him with me, and I'm still gonna give him hell regardless. But the thing is, it's like my little it's like I think the reason why I actually did that is because I said fuck it, I really don't care anymore because after all the bullshit that I've been going through inside the server, I was like, you know what, fuck this company. I'd rather be a whole rebel and just throw the fucking belt off the bridge. It was an ugly belt anyways. Like god damn. So I have to remake a new one. I know I'm dead serious. Like hold on, cause he did send me a picture.
You definitely
of something. Hold on. Wait,
you definitely like knew.
look at this shit. Is in this is in the chat.
Let's take a look here.
God, that was like fucking early days, Zach Roper, right there.
Whoa,
Jesus.
boy. That looks worse than my belts. Yeesh.
Yeah.
So
what even is that?
The belt I use is pretty much just a big gold belt from WCW.
And then I threw the belt off the bridge and I had to make a new one. I was like, fuck it, let's do this one then.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Sure.
How come I have a really fine taste in fashion? But like the whole thing is like my little point that I'm trying to make with the history of the championship is actually because it's actually this. Whoever holds the big gold, they'll be like they'll just be like, this is dumb shit. So I'm gone.
Yeah, because they're the top person in the company, so they have to deal with the bullshit the most.
That's amazing. I'm more amazed than like disappointed.
Because I mean, like, it gets to a point where you just like see the bullshit, and you're like, man. Because like my mentality was like, okay, as soon as I drop this belt, I'm fucking out of here. But it just got to a point where shit sped up process, and I'm like, no, I'm pretty much gone. Like after that back and forth that Kaiju had with Lance, I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm out of here.
Yeah, I didn't get to see that in WCC, but I saw it afterwards. I just you can't deal with a person like Lance.
Yeah.
He was just really rude to you for no reason. I'm sorry for interrupting you, but he really that shit made me mad because the dude was a fucking dick, like a relentless dick, and the excuse was just, "Oh, that's Lance." And it's like, dude, if anybody else was that relentless of a dick to fucking Zach Roper, you wouldn't let that happen. So why are you letting this dude do it?
And like, nobody would have called him out for it, like, like Nick Infante would call you guys out for all what you were saying. And then you got this little twerp running around saying whatever he wants. Like, where's the line? Why is there a line?
Taste the sauce. Like what?
Yeah.
But like, what was worse was like, and I had talked about this before, was when me and Dad were like in a voice chat with a bunch of people setting up GRFC. He hopped in to pretty much like ask like what we were doing with it. And like I remember like we were talking a little bit because he thought like he was the reason why I was leaving, and I was like, nah, dude, it's like there's more to it than that. I get that like you're playing the character or whatever, and then like because he was being like friendly and shit, and that's why like to this day I keep saying he's the most two-faced, hypocritical asshole that I've ever met. Because it's like, yeah, it's because like he would do that in the voice chat, and then as soon as like he would like type shit up, he'd be like, no, fuck this guy, because he was like being a white knight for WCC after I pretty much told everyone I'm leaving because this dude's bullying a bunch of people, and I don't want to be like around that anymore.
Yeah.
He was like, WCC pours his blood, sweat, and tears into this to make this entertaining. I'm like, dude, fuck off.
He hasn't cried in years. Come on.
Yeah. I'm like, fuck off, Lance. Like the only reason you're like getting this title match is because you've been talking shit about me on streams for like months. And even then you still couldn't get the fucking job done in that tournament.
How the fuck can you just talk shit and just lost?
What was that
you had
about?
a fucking promo before the match even started. What the hell?
Like, so to answer your question, Emo, what happened? I don't even know how he changed it to the whole tournament bullshit he did, because I left the stream right after, and like I didn't even know he changed the name of the pay-per-view until like it was up, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess he changed it. Yeah, so then he did that, and like I talked about this. Either Lance or WCC himself changed Lance Cannoli to look more like my character, which I'm like, okay, fuck it, whatever. And like I beat his ass. I made a GIF of it and I posted it all over the Discords I was in.
And you did the Switchblade as well, which wasn't the Okitty Kaberi version, so he actually put that on his character.
Yeah, and like
Kane-No did it better. Fuck off.
Because what Lance would do in his promos, and like you can attest to this, Emo, he would fucking tag me 4 times every time he cut a promo. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna like post this GIF. I'm gonna tag Lance Cannoli 4 times and give him a taste of his own medicine, as he would say, "Taste the fucking sauce." And then he like bitched to like Deadshot about it and left the server. Or he like didn't want to be a part of GRFC anymore, which
even though they all agreed to be in it like 3 different times.
It was only till I drafted them. They wanted to get out. Don't.
Yeah, like it. Even then,
fault,
like
no.
It's always been my fault.
If he was in the server, like I would have told you, Dead, I don't want him like anywhere near me. Like I don't want to be on the same show as him. I don't want to be like near him. Like I would have
put
told
him
you
on
that
the
if he
D
was
show.
The D show. Oh my god.
That's me.
Keep him away from me, because if we're in the same room, it's not going to go well.
My show is so bad it doesn't exist.
There was this thing that's currently going on in the freaking joint about some type of fucking invasion. Like, here's the thing, right? So,
what about Retribution?
Those bums, sheesh.
Retribution.
Oh my fucking god.
They're the greatest team of all time.
Like, don't you ever fucking say the Dark Horse sucks.
I did it first.
Retribution.
Faceless did it first. I did it first.
True.
You stop.
But like this thing that's going on currently in the damn Fed is like something about HWA and P Money owns HWA and shit, and now they coming to ran Rapid on the WCC roster, and they first started out on freaking Elevate, try and take over that, and then
why would you want to take over Elevate? Come on.
Well,
nobody wants that.
I mean, first of all, Kane-No's in Elevate, so are you sure about that? Anyway,
yeah,
but like
you and
he changed it now.
Yeah, he changed it to fucking PC now. So that's kind of fun. That's kind of fun. You know, you went from PS4 to on PC, and then you still got some people who wants to be on the Fed and they only got PS4, and yeah, logic. So look, if you're trying to do an invasion, if you want to do like a Fed versus Fed invasion, do it right. Like, fuck, man. And like,
so he's just acting like P Money is invading Fed, even though like that's his boy that hangs out at his house when they do the streams.
I don't even fucking know, nor even care. Because if they want loyalty, because I have a feeling, like this is my little gut feeling, because somehow my feeling always come to in fruition, if that even make any damn sense. Basically, my little thought is that if they're gonna do this, if they're gonna do a whole do it right, like they really gotta do it right, because like because Fed versus Fed, right? Like SmackDown versus Raw, or New Japan versus Ring of Honor, or Ring of Honor versus CZW. That was actually a good shit right there. like if you're gonna do something, it's hard for me just to stay loyal to you if sooner or later we gotta do a WCC versus HWA, and somehow I'm in the fucking tag match, and you clearly could tell Kane-No's not loyal at all to you. I don't bow down and suck dick. I fuck ass. Like goddamn, man. So
I fuck a vampire chick in a casket.
we already know that, man.
I watched Shadow and Jay make out for 20 minutes.
Oh god, that was the fucking worst.
They're on the pain party couch, just making out.
It could be worse, but how can you top a person? But the thing is, it could be worse, but how can you top a person, a living being, fucking a dead person, technically inside of a casket?
I mean, Shadow and J Bomber did that, so they topped it.
I think that's
somehow I'm amazed by that.
I just can't imagine, because I think it's two dudes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just imagine that. Nah.
That's
you can ugh.
Like dudes, but you know what?
No, but
even then, it's still weird. I'm just saying.
He didn't know. It was like it was a dude as a girl, guy as a guy. I don't know.
Well, their characters aren't gold
didn't
dust,
know,
so it doesn't really make sense.
What'd you say?
Wait, what?
No, I'm saying like the characters, they aren't like gold dust or anything like that, so it doesn't even make any sense.
Right.
Man, Jay and Shadow, the winner is you, man. Just congratulations.
It's always been you.
But I'm just like,
I'm so sad you turned on me instead of me turning on you.
Right.
What the fuck? That just clicked in my head right now. But my whole point is that, if it even is a fucking point, is that I don't really see money in this fucking P Money HWA versus Commish WCC, and if it's going to happen, if it happens, it happens. It's probably going to happen in Trapsgiving. Oh my fucking god.
Trapsgiving?
Yeah.
What is that?
Zach, would you like to explain?
Like I talked about this last week. That's the Eternally Yours music video for Emotions and Weight. That was the whole inspiration behind.
I'm not even talking about that, Zach. You wasn't paying attention. God damn it! I was talking about Trapsgiving since you was there.
Oh, I have no fucking idea what the whole point of that was.
Basically, Survivor Series on Inner Circle, I guess.
I'm just saying that's the grossest name I've ever heard. So.
I mean, he calls it Trap City for some reason, even though there's no like DJs, disco things, or whatever the fuck.
In a 5-star building and shit.
At least in GRFC, I say that we're either in a black hole or a isekai.
Yeah, we're in a black hole.
This dude said whole black hole.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Supreme asked at one point, so now we just troll and say we're in a black fucking hole.
Yeah, I remember he asked because he wanted to like make promos from like where we are at, and I'm like, dude, we're either in a black hole or we're in an isekai like place. Which for those who aren't anime weebs, that's like another world in an anime place.
So can we say this about GC? I'm about to say GC. Get Real Fight Club, GFF. Fuck!
GRFC.
GABCDLN.
Zach, I get it. You don't have to type.
I know my ABCs.
Okay, cool beans. GFC are so
motherfucker, man. It's in the chat. You have no excuse.
Read those 4 letters, man.
But anyway. But basically the whole lore behind that is that you know in GTA you could take these pills, right? And you get high as shit. Enough said. It happens on the edge of the earth, goddammit.
Exactly.
Who the fuck tagged me?
Not me.
Yo, mom.
Okay, she did it first. Then whatever. Fuck it.
Your mama did it first?
No, it's just some other dumb
Ah,
shit.
that's hot.
Did he just say that's hot? Oh god.
Dude, that's been like my catchphrase for like months.
Do you think I already know that? Not really.
I mean, it got to a point where Dead Shadow wanted me to record myself saying that so he could put it on my character, but it could never fucking work.
No, I think it works now, though. Like, that's what I was saying. If you want to try your own lines for your own character again, like, I'll try to see if it works. Because, I mean, it works for Jex Victor and Johnny Was Out. So.
Yeah, dude, Johnny Was Out are amazing.
I did not hit her. I did not.
So
That's
apparently, Kane-No got a new hashtag. WCC fears Kane-No. That's actually fucking true for real.
That's sick.
No, like
that's true.
Like look in the fucking chat. Well,
yeah, I saw that.
Like first from the joint, like that. But that Kane-No is actually the Kane-No for WCC actually.
Yeah, because I downloaded your other version for my game, so I could just like do bullshit matches.
Yeah, and like the thing is, I fucking love this. Like it all started.
Leon's the first one.
Yeah. My man's, and then I said, "Are you WCC?"
What did he say?
He said no, but okay. Here's what he said. He said, fuck, where the hell is this shit at? Is it in parking lot or is it in the sex dungeon? I think it's in streets. Wait, no, it's not.
What?
It's in.
What?
Okay, here's what happened, right? So basically, Kane-No comes out the cut in his backyard wrestling, old school backyard wrestling. I want to fuck you up. I want to kill you attire, street attire, the street attire.
What about Raw Underground?
No, we're not in. No, fuck. No, I'm not in the underground. I'm in the underworld. Fucking man. But like, yada yada yada. Tags in Jackson because he's a pussy. Shooter man, I'd rather fight him anytime. Leon Devin was bracking, nigga. So, so like, oh shit, I did shit. It slipped up. Oh fuck, I'm black. Okay, fuck you. Okay.
Well, I mean, at least not anything WCC hasn't said 50 times on there.
Anyways, like, I want to fight. Step up. Also, WCC, Chris Kane-No, Leon Devin. But I'm gonna be fighting you. RWCC. Yeah, I'm asking for a fight. Then he says no. I'm saying if everyone in WCC feared you. Well, that's kind of is true if you think about it. I mean, like,
that's more true.
Besides Zach's the only one who actually has balls. And the twink himself, emo boy, he has balls too. I mean, he's the one that actually fucked up Kano with a kick and won the match.
How many do I have?
You only have 0. Okay, fuck you. You haven't went to puberty yet, like Nick. Okay.
I mean, to be fair, emo also did beat you when you were a champ.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, that's what you just said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes.
I just realized
always irrelevant.
Yeah, like I mean, Noah could probably beat Kano in his dreams, but this is what it is.
Yeah, there ain't no way.
I just love fucking
the Noah character is just trash. Gotta say,
you suck.
In real life, I'm 135 pounds, so
I'm probably
there's no way I'm winning any fights.
Damn, you weigh more than me. I'm like 125.
Ooh.
Talk about cruiserweights.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like the thing with me is like no matter how much I eat, I have like such a high metabolism that it just goes through me. So like I'm like 5'10", 5'11", and 125 pounds.
Why everybody who's taller than me weigh less than me, bro? I'm like 5'7", 5'8". Fuck.
Hey, his favorite singer is 6'1", 165, so there's that.
I guess it's just like a goth thing.
Probably. But hey, who doesn't love a good goth? They're all good people, even though they probably gonna scare the shit out of you one day. But it is what it is.
The thing is, we're very chill. We're very docile. Like that's the thing with me too. Like people who have like talked with me when we're in servers like know that I'm very chill and very down to earth. I'm like really humble. It's just when I do the character that I'm like, I amp up like the things I'm not pretty much. But like I'm very chill, and that's
Chill
why.
people.
This guy's a mania in RP.
I know, right? Surprise, right?
Let's draw him.
I'm killing the business.
Oh yeah, I can never forget this one line Kano said. Like Leon was like, no, first Kano was cracking. Leon's like, your skull when I get in the ring with you. Then Kano said, "Cute, give me a coma, please. I want to be I want to be clinically dead." Basically saying that like I'd rather not be here than here. Fucking love my
I get
words.
that.
I hate myself. Oh wait, never mind. He just slapped me and said, "Don't touch me."
He just did that?
Leon, like Leon.
I know. I said
Leon,
he just did it.
Leon slapped Kano and then said, "Don't touch me."
Oh, you gotta fucking love that.
You gotta smash him. Well, you're gonna lose this backstage.
I'm gonna lose the fuck. I just want.
Yeah.
You know how this
You don't
goes.
remember mod credit?
You know how this goes.
I mean, ask Emo Boy how it feels to be freaking knocked out by that fool. The dude look like he's a fucking corpse after that.
I'm saying, like these backstage fights always end with whoever wants to keep fighting for the next hour and a half.
Which is always Leon. So
yep, it's always him.
Don't get into it with him. Just ignore him.
Or just do it. Just no sell. Who cares?
That's not me. I'd rather sell because I don't want to look like an asshole, but it is what it is. We're in a company filled with assholes anyway, so.
That's for true.
Like, come on.
You don't need to keep to storyline logic right now.
I would tamper with Kano's logic right now, but I'm not a good logic guy. I just throw shit together, make sure it makes sense, and move on with my day. And if I feel like a little funny person, I might add hidden messages within Kano that people don't even know. For example, when Kano had inside Kano's new logic, well not logic, but inside Kano character, he has a few Jay White sayings and has the switchblade. You gotta love it, you know. So
and that nickname you put on him too.
Which one? The go fuck yourself or WCC
yeah,
Kano?
Yeah.
I'm just that big of an asshole sometimes. I'm not afraid to admit it. Like I could be an asshole, but who cares, man? I'm just man. God damn, this podcast is gonna be longer than the first one. Not actually, because it's only been 2 hours and 22 minutes. Wait, never mind. I meant to say 2 hours and 23 minutes. So
it's actually shorter by like an hour.
What's the time?
Okay. It doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, that's the fucking point of this shit. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be timeless. So
these are just boys sitting around the campfire talking.
Yeah, we're pretty much just shooting the shit.
We're in the fucking saloon. What you mean, matter of fact, I should go get fired. What? Yeah, wait.
I should have stayed on brand.
I think if we start doing if we can campfire here, we might end up burning the whole saloon. And
RCAMPFIRSONG song.
And freaking Emo's gonna be like, you dumb fucks.
Possibly.
See, he said possibly.
Can't burn down the Outlaw Saloon.
What?
So you can't burn down the Outlaw Saloon. Isn't that what the thing said on the picture?
Yeah, the Outlaw Saloon.
See? That's what he was referring to. Can't have a bonfire in the saloon.
That just gave me a whole idea. God damn it. Maybe for the next episode, I'll put us in a campfire. I mean, not in the campfire, but you know.
We're all just sitting in the flames.
We're gonna be like,
it's like the "This is fine" meme.
Fire.
This is fine. Don't worry about it. Do we want to talk about OWA a bit?
Wait, what?
I don't mind. It's
OWA,
whatever.
yeah.
I mean, shit.
I mean,
I don't know how much time we want to talk.
For a guy that didn't have anything to say, we went like 2 hours on that. So I'm sure you got plenty for your own stuff.
Blunt's the only guy who would say, "I really got nothing to say." Then use the whole 2 hour mark, and it's just him talking most of the time. That's awesome. That's
I mean, well, now everyone's got like the full picture, I guess.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah, pretty sure I wasn't here last week, right?
Yeah, you was in the freaking toilets.
Gotta make up for it.
So
don't worry,
I
got you out, man. I got you.
What'd you say?
Nothing. Go on.
I mean, if you want me to talk about OWA, I don't have much to say outside of like.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, not really, because it's just been sending messages for, I don't know, 4 months now. I don't really know outside of the fact that I'm about to start doing this Japanese like branch off that's gonna be or is already kind of like a little bit. That should be kind of fun. But that's gonna be really short, kind of like how OWA first was, so maybe like 3-5 matches per show. So not a lot.
205 live, but Japanese style.
Yeah.
We in Japan.
Be like how NXT was at first when it was like 3 matches a show, or like Lucha Underground or something like that. But obviously, it's not really Lucha Underground because I'm not gonna have like cinematic shit like that show. But keep it short. It should be fun. The guy who's gonna be at like the top of that is already in OWA. Tomia, he's the champion of OWA, so he's pretty dope. He's only supposed to be 20 years old in the game, but he's one of the stronger edits I made. He's only like 175 edit points, and he's really fucking good. Like, he knocks people out with his finisher, which is the running Liger Bomb. He's pretty fun to watch. He has really like fast-paced matches, because he's supposed to be like a young wrestler, so he's got a lot of energy.
Yeah, he looks pretty good from what I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's lost in a while, honestly. He's won probably his last like 5 or 6 matches, I'd like to say. I know he lost a while back, but I think he's won a bunch of his matches. He's in that SWA championship tournament that's going on too. He's won a bunch of matches in that, so he could win that too. Yeah, he's really good. I've got a few other guys that I've made recently that are really dope. And then the other Japanese wrestlers I had in OWA, so that should be fun. But OWA is in a kind of a weird spot because the champion's about to leave in about a couple of weeks. So they gotta either get their belt back or it's leaving with their champion.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time somebody from you would leave with a championship.
Okay, to be clear, I didn't leave with. I was kicked out. I literally was going to. I was told. Huh? I was told that I was going to be, like basically not allowed anymore, and I literally went in the server one last time, had a promo that I had already wrote, gonna copy and paste it, and as I was pasting it, the server disappeared from my Discord. So I sent it to Dealer and he posted it.
What was the promo, anyways?
I sent it to Dealer Reality and he posted it. I don't know if I got it.
Yeah, because he posted it for you.
And then he got yelled at and I got bitched out about don't give shit to the Emo Boy, blah, 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 blah. Or to anybody to post for Emo Boy. Here, this is so short.
Is that your mic, Zach?
It's not me.
Okay.
Because I'm hearing it.
Yeah, I hear it too.
I'm hearing it.
Yeah, I've got a Blue Yeti mic, so
here I just posted
my
it.
mic's pretty good.
I'm not gonna read that shit, but I just posted it in the chat.
I mean, if you want, I can read it for you, I guess.
You don't have to. It's really it's really short. It's not long. I just don't feel like reading all of it because it's just like I don't know.
It's not like reading Kale's promo. Trust me.
It's not like reading my promos either, because I have really fucking long promos I cut.
I mean, I usually do, but this one.
You already read them.
Huh?
You already read one of yours last time, Zach.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's it, WCC. You've seen the last of. Fuck, am I even okay?
Are you trying to read it in
WCC, you have seen the last of me, unfortunately. It's been requested that I leave, so I will leave with my dignity, like a damn god.
Oh, where do you see the video and why do you leave?
I will leave as tag champion with my brother in the cursed kaiju. Well, he left first, and kaiju did later on. Zach,
no, he was in that tag match with George.
That's what I was trying to say. That emo left first before kaiju.
Yeah. No, I was just saying that I left with the championship, and that's who I was champion with. That's all.
So how the fuck can you become crown new champions when you're missing one of the fucking belts?
Nobody knows.
Who fucking knows at this point?
It happened.
There's no explanation other than it happened. Yeah.
Yeah, let's take the belt, put in a copy machine, and just give it to the other person.
Oh, yeah, George is a part of the coven, even though he hasn't been used. Let me give him the title.
George?
Yeah, he barely used him in WCC. Like, I pretty much had to tell him, like, okay, like, I know you want to, like, do this GRFC thing, but WCC is still using you, so if you don't want him to use you, you gotta tell him. Because I'm not gonna mess with your business.
Yeah, George. He's still using it.
I remember when he can't get up the freaking turnbuckle. Such time.
Oh my.
Oh, dude, I was so fucking pissed about that because, like, in my game, he would do that shit fine, and then I'd see him struggling, and I'm like, dude, most of his like offense is aerial based, so you're pretty much cutting him at the knees at this point.
Yeah, and I fixed them, and they still screwed him up later on again.
Yeah, and like, I remember like George was like getting primed to like do the inaugural deathmatch championship match, and then that shit went nowhere. Like, because like I was getting mad because I'd pretty much told George about WCC, and like I pretty much told WCC like, hey, this is a good dude to use. He's like my best friend. Like he'd be a really cool dude to use. Then like he brought him in, so I felt like when George wasn't doing that good, I felt like it was my fault because I brought him in. I'm like, ah, God, what the fuck, dude? That was pretty much like my whole thinking. Because, like I said, I have like this really big brotherly kind of like relationship with people where I want to look out for them.
Yeah, I feel like he kind of did George dirty. He just started to ignore him.
Yeah, like
I never really understood that.
Yeah, if you've talked to George, he's a really cool fucking dude.
Is George still in the roster? Yeah, he is. Let's see. The villain George, right? Like would.
Yeah, villain George. Yeah.
Cause now I just got a random thought. Like the thing I was thinking, like, when I was, currently I have a fashion headhunters. One of my things I did say in our little group chat is that I might be the mouthpiece, but I want y'all to basically be yourselves. Speak out. Like, don't hold in anything. And like one of the dude, like I know him when I used his characters on 2K. I told him, well, he did say that he kind of look up to Kane-No like he's Triple H and he's Randy Orton, and basically the old school evolution. So now I'm looking back at the whole WCC shit and all that stuff. I'm like, we got factions upon factions that is basically not even known. Pain Party. What the hell is a Pain Party, anyways? It's just Jay and freaking Shadow Dart. They do have some other people in it, but it's mostly just women. He's the only dude, and I'm like, first of all, Jay, just end Pain Party, bro. I literally told him that. Just end Pain Party.
Is he still running it now?
What, Pain Party?
Yeah.
I mean,
he has to because Shadow Dart went back to WCC.
I could say I kind of
Isn't Shadow's Roblox friend a champ though?
Oh, you mean the person that had Bloody Tampon as their name?
Yep.
God damn it.
The one who's just literally a copied edit off of someone else.
I don't understand how they thought it was appropriate to have sex in the parking lot for days on end and then invite somebody named Bloody Tampon to the fucking server.
Anyways, I'm not even going to go far there, bro.
There was that one dude that had like the hub profile pic that like you
Oh,
told me about, Shadow.
Logan Leslie, where the fuck?
that
that Kane-No wasted his time carrying the edit for.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Kane-No, I banned that dude literally immediately when he told me what he was trying to have his guy look like because it sounded like some BDSM shit. It's like you gotta have like a limit at some point. Like it's Fire Pro, but like
you wanted to have a gimp outfit.
Here's the thing,
yeah,
right? With Daniel Leslie, look, I'm not that type of person that would just just be an asshole and just say no and say, oh my god, that's weird and shit. I'm a nice guy.
He could have done. He has the game. He could just edited his character to look like that on his own.
He does. I don't know.
He does. Yeah, he does.
I'm an open person to a point, and when you reach that point, I'm like, dude, I can't fucking do this.
I did a promo like a few times against Daniel Leslie recently, and my whole promo is based like this: I got you here, and you wasted my fucking time. If I'm the reason why I brought you here to WCC, you want to become deathmatch champion, and you lost most of your opportunities to become deathmatch champion, you are a fucking joke, and you wasted my time bringing you here.
Hey, Mr. Pogo's a goat. What do you mean?
I'm not talking about Pogo. I'm talking about Daniel. What?
I know, but Pogo's his favorite guy. He wants to verse him in every single deathmatch.
Yeah. But now Kane-No's over here shitting on WCC cryptically, shitting on the person that he legit brought to WCC, and then broke J Bomber. I broke J Bomber. He's now not the king no more because one, I legit destroyed him, not in a match, but with words instead, and I kind of kicked
I
him
did
back in
that
the
like
head.
every day for like 2 months.
That's the only way to prove you're gonna win.
I said I did that every day for like 2 months.
Did he even win?
No, I said after we had a match and he won, he was still mad and still wanted to fight me. So I just kept on endlessly talking shit to him, and then Zach joined in because I was like, "Hey Zach, you want to help me just like call this guy a queen?" He was like, "Sure."
Oh, dude.
I started calling Zach King Zach to piss off J Bomber too.
And I ran with that too.
Oh god.
Like I remember, like I was gonna like try to make like a T-shirt design for that shit just to troll.
Yeah,
should have that be a stipulation title for Princess Crown.
I forget what the match was, but it was a triple threat match that my guy was an MMA at it, a triple threat wrestling match, so I was fucked. I forgot about that. That was another thing that was fucked up. I made my guy an MMA for a Thursday night trap down match. That was an MMA match. I lost in a match where the screen went black and he had to restart it. That was fucking weird.
And then all of a sudden the game was running slow as hell. I'm like, what the fuck? I know why, because the motherfucker didn't change the game speed.
So fucking he like restarted the match. I lost, whatever. But we were supposed to have a triple threat match. Or no, I told WCC I was going to take a little bit off. And he was like, I'll give you an in on the championship match. If you want to make it a triple threat match, you can. And I was like, fuck it. If I'm going to be the bad guy, I have to take the short route. So I took the triple threat match. And then he kept I sent him the updated wrestling version of my edit like a week before even the MMA match. Like I sent him both like back to back, like, yo, this is the one for the MMA match. Then immediately this will be the one for the next whenever, because he can't be an MMA edit in wrestling matches. And then in the triple threat wrestling match, my guy was an MMA fucking fighter. So he had no pin, so he literally couldn't win the match unless he KO'd somebody. And I lost. So Jay Bomber just decided to continuously shit talk me. And so I was like, fuck it. Like, you really think you're going to beat me in this? Okay. And just like went at him for like at least a month, where I would just mention him in promos just to like fuck with him, because like he knew if he said anything to me, I would just write fucking 100 words that he didn't even understand. Like I remember I called him toxic, and he was like, "I don't speak French," and I was like, "What?" And I was like, "What, bro? Whatever," and just kept it moving.
Hold on, let me do that emote again.
Oh my god.
But yeah, that's a fun one, because I mean if you know how to cut a promo, he has no chance. That's why that was the reason why I never wanted to face Mar Rivers in a match like that, because I didn't want to have to do him the disservice of making him look really fucking stupid and then probably beating him in the match. Because every time we've had a match so far that's been streamed, I've won. Except for in Zach's Fed, where I got beat up by Zach in the match, so I lost. So
sorry about that.
Biggest yanks.
That's why I think it worked out good that I got Jay, because even though like he didn't add anything besides the name value, I got what I want by getting my name working with someone who is talked about a lot, and he got someone who can actually do a promo.
Well, yeah, I mean, you gave him a shot as far as you could at least speak up for him. You also were cooperative. Like, if I tried to speak to you, you would respond. You know what I mean? Like, the thing with Jay Bomber is like, you have to understand it. I tried to be a nice guy to him. I tried to help him several times, and every time he was like, "Nah, I'm good." So it was like, okay, dude, if you think you're good, okay. Like, but I offered to help him with his character when he seemed frustrated that the edit WCC gave him sucked. Like, I told him,
you mean Avengers? Good old Booker T?
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I told him I'd help him. You know what I mean? I told him
don't
if
put
he
Jay
wanted,
Hunter next to that boy, bro.
I'm saying Jet Hunter is way better than Jay Bomber. Like, leaps and bounds.
Oh, that says Jet. I thought it says Jay Hunter from Old School Wrestling Podcast.
Yeah, no. Jet Hunter is way better than Jay Bomber, and he's actually like winning a lot of his matches.
Yikes.
Like he might like dead ass end up like earning a shot at Zach's title at this point, because he's been on a roll ever since he renamed himself as Jet Hunter, because Dead fixed him up pretty much. Like, that's why he's good
He's
now.
literally an entirely new character, because I just literally deleted Avengers Booker T off him.
Like, he is unrecognizable at Jet Hunter.
Yeah.
And like, you know, like the way I try to book things is like I try to make people look as good as possible. And if someone suggests a match, 9 times out of 10 I'll go with it. So like, you know, Jet Hunter's doing good. I'm like, okay, let me see if I can like put him against like harder people and see how good he does. He beats them. I'm like, okay, shit, this dude's actually really good. Let me see if I can like book him and like these you know, what's the term? Like these main event type matches. Like, let's see like how he does in that situation. You're either gonna sink or swim. That's the way I book things.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good. You have to like test guys to see what they're capable of, and then
Exactly.
And I don't even mean tests like as far as like before match tests. I mean like within your booking, you have to like. That's what I try to do with certain characters. Like I was gonna say, like Noah's character in my Fed, Alexi Monstra. Like I push him against really hard heavyweight characters, and if he loses, that might scale him back against somebody to give him almost like a break before I push him back into like really heavy competition, because like he wins and loses, but usually he always looks pretty strong, because if he loses to somebody who's really good. But like it can also be frustrating from the RP standpoint of, your character looks strong, but you're still losing matches. So like, how do you project yourself? And it's like Alexi Monstro is like, he looks good. He always looks good. Like almost every match he's in, it looks like a good match. He looks like he's fighting hard. It's just sometimes he loses because he's against the edit that's also really good, or more edit points. Because he's one of the guys that I made kind of to be a mid-card guy who I was going to build up, kind of like the guy who actually is the OWA champion now. They're around the same amount of edit points, which is about like 175-ish. And the idea was to start them in like my middle card area and build them up to be heavyweight champions. It just happened that the Tomio dude ran off a whole bunch of wins and ended up beating the guy who was like 20 edit points better than him for the belt. So like, like he won. You can't be mad at that. And he beat him again the next week. So like he seems very, viable as a champion. But like Alexi Monstro could do that too. But sometimes when he fights a better edit, he just doesn't win because that guy's just got more edit points. Usually, it's not even logic a lot of the time. It's just the fact that Alexi's 20 points weaker than him, and it's usually defense type stuff. And because Alexi's made to be more offensively dominant, and that's just how it goes. But he's a good strong edit. And he wanted him to be like this character that's from, what's the game that he's from?
It's modern. What is it? I forget. It's one of those.
Yeah, wrestling phone games, right? Yeah. And like the thing is I know people who saw that edit like outside of OWA and asked me like, why'd you make that dude from that phone game look so, like, because they think it looks like him and shit like that. And it was just like, I don't know, this guy asked me to do it, And I tried to make him like competitive, but like I wanted him to be a guy who like kind of earned it. And I feel like he's on his way there. He's won some really good matches, and now he's about to fight Merle Thunders, who's a fucking badass. But he's also a guy who's built like straight up to like fight, so he can like gas quick. So Alexi already knocked him out, and he can definitely beat him again. And like if he beats him, he's really proven himself, and like he could get a championship shot. And that's like the way I try to book things. And even like with Zach Roper showed up in OWA, and yes, he was given top card opportunities, but he lost a lot of those and had to reclaim himself in OWA. And he's done it via wins against guys more recently, and then wins against guys in like you beat Victor Hill, right? Or is that an SWA?
That was SWA.
Yeah, and like it's
fucking Hill.
No, yeah, but it's he's been given like different opportunities than he was before in WCC. He's been given good opportunities, but a lot of it was in tag matches and stuff like that, where it wasn't just like spotlight on Zach Roper. But like he had to earn it, and he still hasn't got a shot at the actual championship. He didn't get to fight Emo Boy when he was the champion, so like he hasn't really been gifted much of anything outside of hard matches a lot of the time. And I feel like if he beats Emo Boy in this next match, like again, like he's earned a shot to, probably get a championship match of some sort. So like, I try to build it the same way Zach said. Like it's a trial by fire, and it's you want a guy to prove himself, and also at the same time you want to kind of like test the waters while you're booking them. And like if a guy loses, you can kind of like take a step back and like look for a competitor that might be closer to him in the edit point spectrum, and maybe a different style than the last guy you booked, and see if it works better. And then that way you can find the next guy to put him against, or keep him against that guy maybe one more time to see then who gets that next opportunity. Because maybe that guy is better than the guy you were hunting for an opponent for, and you can still find opponents, But I've heard that about real wrestling, that it's about opponents. Wrestling is about having like your guy that you click with. And it's Fire Pro is a lot of the same thing. You can either find it or you can build it. And that's like the cool thing about the game, and the idea of being able to constantly edit the characters, is that you can literally change the dynamic of a match every show and not change it drastically to the point where people are like why is this guy literally changing his moveset every match, but just like tweaking his approach a little bit based on opponent, and it's comes off very realistic, and there's like suspense to it. And that's one of the things I try to book for, is like I try to create moments of suspense, like points in the match where you really think it can go either way, and then it goes one way or the other, and then it's over. And that's why I feel like a lot of times I end up with like high 80s, low 90s, mid 90s matches, is because they like tick every box as far as both sides get in good offense, both sides have a competitive chance. There's not a lot of squashes because of the way I meticulously book the opponents, by making sure that guys are booked against not so much like compatible opponents, but like, or like guys of the same style, like guys that like, I'm trying to think of a way to put it. Like if you put a guy like Shingo against like Ishii, like a big he's not big, but he's like a tough, strong heavyweight. Like, you know, that's going to be a badass match because those two guys are going to butt heads, and it's just going to be awesome. And like, you can find like kind of like sneaky good matches like that in Fire Pro pretty easily.
Like the first Merle and
Monstro match.
Yeah, like it wasn't an insanely long match, but there was back and forth there, and it was really entertaining. Modern Mania Wrestling is the game.
Yeah. And that's because like that's why I wanted to book Monstro against Merle, is because Merle has been really tough. He's beaten a lot of guys. He's literally a really competitive, but like fairly competitive edit. Like he's trying to win. You know what I mean? Like he's not I can make an edit that's trying to have a good match, or I can make an edit that's trying to win. You know what I mean? Like he's a guy who's definitely trying to win, but he still finds a way, because the way that he fights is he attacks a lot early, so he gets gas. So he will put the pressure on early and then provide opportunity for you to steal it. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's kind of how it worked with Alexi, was that he applied pressure, Alexi applied pressure. Merle looked like he could get it at one point, and then Alexi knocked his ass out. And it was only like 11 minutes, and it was like 91% or 90%, 89%, something like that. And Merle Thunder's match is like, it's hard to get a high rating because he's built to possibly win in under 10 minutes, and he'll knock you out. But he sometimes, when matched against a guy like Alexi, who is also tough but is built to go longer, because I made him to be an athlete, because that's what you wanted, he stretched Thunder's just a little bit more than he was comfortable, but made it a good match because he didn't like fully exhaust. So when he knocked him out, it was still surprising. It still looked like they both had a chance, and then boom, the door got slammed, and it was a good match. Even though it might have been a little bit shorter, and didn't really like, I don't know, like I personally like to get the 1, 2, 3, unless it's like an awesome critical, and I like the critical on Merle Thunders because just seeing him get knocked out is awesome to me, because it's hard to knock that dude out. Like I feel like some guys wish they could get the pin just because it's like, you can,
especially Monstro's pin. I love that.
Yeah, I hate the fact that they kicked the guy off on the critical in the game. I wish they just let him pin him, because like you could have just pinned him. He was there pinning him, and then he just kicked him off, and he was dead.
Right. That was dumb, but
I don't know why they do that in the game. I wish they could.
I imagine that he pinned him in my head canon.
But it was a good match. I liked it a lot. And now if he beats him in this death match, like who's to say that Alexi Monstro isn't a beast? You know what I mean? And he looks strong. Yeah. He's always looked strong, even when he's lost. He's lost to like who? Tex X, who's really strong as far as edit points. His moveset is pretty strong, but his logic is stock because that's Tejano X, and he's fucking a PvP player. And I didn't want to fuck with his guy,
Yeah.
But he's just strong. I'm trying to think of who else Alexi lost to.
I beat Matt Michaels, I think.
Yeah, that was a match where Matt Michaels was on a roll and you were kind of on a downturn, and I thought it would be really competitive, and it was pretty competitive, but I had a feeling you were going to, like I kind of like, I didn't like book Matt Michaels to job out, but I wanted to really challenge him while giving you a pretty good opportunity to like bounce back, and it worked out well for you. which was good. I mean, I liked it. It was a good match too. Matt Michaels has been surprisingly competitive when I've had him booked. I just haven't booked him a ton, because I know he didn't want his character to be wrestling that much. I don't know what he was doing on GRFC, but I know he told me he wasn't going to be as a wrestler, so I was just kind of like doing it here and there, you know. But I like the way that he fights. I like when he changed his move, his finisher from the Canadian Destroyer to the Tiger, or it's not the Tiger Driver, but it's the move like the Tiger Driver, I think.
Like Tiger Bomb or some bullshit.
Yeah, double underhook bomb or something like that. I don't know. It's a good move. I like it. I've seen him KO people with it. I think it's good. It's good for a junior. It's like a good power move for a junior because it makes sense. Like it's a leverage move. I like it. But yeah, I don't know. I just try to book for. I try to give when I have other people's edits in the match. I always try to give them opportunity to win. I don't want to make anything really look like an obvious job unless it's like a debut. Sometimes I'll book it to be like I have jobbers that I don't think people know are jobbers. There's some that are pretty obviously jobbers, but I have guys who are made to lose. And I booked people against them in debuts, you know, to get them a win. Usually,
Jobber
like Bo and Bo and Barrow from Supreme lost to like 2 jobbers in a row, and then he beat a guy who was pretty decent to get his actual win. But like it just happens, you know. Sometimes
I tried
the
to
jobbers
push Bo and Barrow so hard, and he just would not win ever.
Yeah.
Like, what's your problem?
He's got.
There's 2 more of them, by the way.
I know, but I haven't made them.
You want me to send you them?
I guess.
I guess
Yeah.
so.
Jack Punk, baby.
But what I was gonna say, Bo and Barrow, the problem with him is he has a weird finishing move. It's like a corner move, like the Bronco Buster. Like how you
he wanted it like that. I just figured this is not gonna really work, but how will it?
Yeah, and I don't know what his like other logic is set up to because I just copied it, so I don't know how he sets up into it or anything like that. But I don't know. I would never advise to use that move as a finisher ever because you're not gonna win. And like
you
the
hardly
way
attempt it, even at 100%, you barely attempt it because you hardly go to a corner.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to our chat, looking at Zach just beasting.
I was gonna say, one other thing about just like Fire Pro in general, I guess. The thing that to me that makes Fire Pro really fun is the fact that you're able to create stuff that
why the fuck is this?
that other people can enjoy either by watching or by playing with. So like
because like I heard you guys talking about criticals and I was like, oh wait, I have this on my phone, let me post this.
Can you I don't think I have the one where I kicked that one dude's fucking face off his head.
I probably have it somewhere on my phone.
That was great.
I made that. I made the one for me. I also made the one where Kaiju pretty much made J Bomber like critical from like a headlock. Yeah, that shit was like hilarious.
Oh, that shit was great. He did a Dragon Sleeper. It fucking got critical.
Yeah.
And as you can see, it's the Big Van Vader Open Challenge.
Yep.
Yes, dead guy. Woo.
Gotta love it.
Big Van Vader Challenge?
Gotta love it, kid.
It's on the bottom of the.
I never ever thought it was weird that he was booked because he was dead. I never even thought about it like that. But it is kind of weird. I was just like, oh, Vader, cool.
Hey, look, it's a Vader.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I think I made the one of you knocking that one dude out with the brass knuckles. That was like the
Furious
other one
Frank?
I made. Yeah, Furious Frank. That's another one I made.
Just give a hold of that one. It's your star
I had the one where I did the sitting super kick thing to Wendell Stevens after they were talking about how the world's greatest tag team was gonna fucking beat our ass for like 3 weeks straight.
This is right.
You mean the 115 point, I think, headed points, guys?
Yeah, dude, they just kept on ranting and raving about how
the guys who Woodery had jobber logic.
They had no chance.
How did they lose to Miami Vice? I don't. Really sad. I had this whole team picked out. They were gonna be like the Miami Vice thing, and then they lost, and then they lost again, and again.
Well, that's because they were fixed at that point. The world's best tag team thing.
Oh, okay.
They didn't have their jobber logic.
Eagles.
Exactly.
What?
Pretty
World
much.
best tag team. Talk about egotistical.
That's the point. They're British.
Yeah.
They suck.
And as we all know, all
British
British people are the worst.
Dude.
No, I have family over there. It's...
You gotta make it clear.
We don't care.
So, we are sitting at 3 hours in chat. Does anybody have anything to end us out on, or anything?
I would end it with how would you book, but I'd rather save that for another time because it's I just want to let everybody know not only how we was, how we feel, how we was treated, all that stuff, but I want to let everybody know how we will actually do things if we actually have the power to do so. Cause I have a feeling, not just me, cause I'm a freaking booking monster, not in a good way, but in a concerning way. Cause the way I book my shit, oh my god. But I have a feeling that everybody y'all have a vision of what you wanted to happen, but we can't do it because Vince McMahon type shit, you know?
Right.
That would be fun. Yeah.
Because one thing I do want to book is how would I book how would I book Emo Boy portraying Zack in another event, or how Dealer of Reality should have been introduced, or other stuff, because we could just imagine it on our own, but actually doing it is just it's more harder than it should be.
That's what she said.
Ha ha ha.
That's
I'm
real
sorry,
true.
man. I'm childish. I can't help it sometimes.
Yeah, I could tell because you just
I'm
love
20.
that freaking picture of Kano getting his ass just completely knocked out.
Dude, I'm sorry. I'm 25 years old, but I'm also petty and immature sometimes. I can't help it.
Am I the youngest in this fucking joint?
Damn, you got critical.
How young are you?
Yeah, I'm 19. Am I the youngest in this bitch?
I'm 17.
Yep.
You are?
Oh, come on.
I'm 17 for 2 more days.
Nice.
Wait, which one said that? Cause the freaking
It's the irrelevant one. That's
oh, no, what you mean? But yeah.
You forgot my name, man.
I mean, you said irrelevant, so I thought so. That's the first thing that come to thought. Oh, that's so petty, right
Yeah,
there.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah, maybe in future episodes, if we still have the fucking time, we could probably do a little segment how we will book, or some
Tejano one.
shit. The Tejano one.
Yeah.
Damn, man said
Tejano
I'm
what?
gonna hit it with the I'm just gonna crop chalk you and hit you with this, cause
Dude, that was beautiful.
Oh yeah, then I'd pin him like that too. I forgot about that. That was a great pin. Told him to suck it.
Pin him, and then you sit
Knock
him in his
his
face. Oh no,
Yeah,
That's what she said.
Oh,
He hit him with the brass knuckles and rolled his ass up. It was amazing.
Definitely
That's
folded him over for the pin.
That's the biggest
That
fuck
was
you
so.
have ever seen in my life.
Yes,
My
that's
man,
what the point was of that pin, dude. It was like.
he's like, nope, I'm Dom. I'll see what I could do.
Yeah, because I'm going back to work on the 21st, and I believe the fall classes at my campus starts on the 24th. I'm doing online classes, so I'll have a bit more flexibility, but I'm pretty much gonna be like right where I was in the whole like WCC days. So if I get frustrated and shit, then y'all know why.
I mean, get bread, get like good vibes, and
Yeah,
that's all
like
we need.
I'm gonna do the best I can, but like that's why like I'm gonna have like the best fucking show I can do for Top Tier Tuesday this upcoming week because I have no fucking idea when I'm gonna be able to do this again. So I'm like, all right, if I go out, I might as well go out with like the best fucking show I can do.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm
Who
just gonna
made
like do a
this?
bunch.
Who fucking?
Oh,
made
that was
this?
me.
Oh, dude, the Bitmojis.
The Bitmojis.
Because like,
oh, that's so good.
I think Shadowdar was like the first person to do the whole Bitmojis thing. Then I kind of went on board. Emo Boy was doing it, then Mar was doing it, and it got to a point where we just spammed the shit out of that, and WCC and he got pissed.
There was definitely a point where it was being spammed for the sake of being ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it got bad because like other people were bitching about it, so it was funny as hell.
Yeah, because like mostly I was just doing it for like scenarios that Zach and Carmela were doing, just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, that was understandable.
That was your face turn.
Pretty much, yeah. Because like we touched on this earlier, but like Carmela was way more over than Zach because out of like everyone in the coven, she was the most likable because she was just like minding her own business. She would wrestle her matches. She either win or lose. She would just like go on with her day. Meanwhile, her boyfriend / husband is just like being a fucking prick and just like being like the worst fucking person ever. So of course she's the one that's gonna be over.
Yeah, she was super over, man.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy how over she was, but I was just so happy that she was getting all that
over to the point that she won a title before you.
Yeah, dude, she beat La Bruja in a steel cage match for the title, and like like me as like myself and my character, I was like, damn, I'm like really fucking proud of you. Good job.
I'm proud of you, but secretly inside, like, get that shit with me.
No, because Zach's whole thing is he's always supportive of Carmella no matter what happens.
Yeah, she definitely won though.
Yeah,
she got knocked the fuck out like the first time I was ever there. It was so funny because everybody was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, like
for whatever reason, like you said, she was just super over.
She had been like knocked out, I think, twice in WCC. Like that first time you came, because I think like she was in like a multi-person match defending her title, and she was the first one out.
Yeah.
And then and then what's her name? The Supreme person, Ashley Jackson. She pretty much broke her leg in like under 5 minutes.
That's break every bone.
I was like, God damn. And then I think that's when like Lance or someone else was like, I don't think it was Lance at this time. It was someone else that was like
probably Furious Frank or Drake Matthews or someone like that.
Oh yeah, it was definitely Drake Matthews where they were like, oh, I guess we should pay Zach's girlfriend a little visit in the hospital.
That was me and Drake, unfortunately.
Yeah, that shit was fucking weird. I like it got to a point because I was in my business law class when this was going on. And it just got to a point where like I was in my
imagine like, looking over your shoulder.
Yeah, like I wasn't playing like my character anymore. I was pretty much being myself. I'm like, you guys are fucking creepy and you need to stop.
Here's the funny thing about it, that what Zach just said. He was in class with business and law. And like
business law class.
And this motherfucker saying some illegal stuff.
Because like what I would do at that point, because like it was every Thursday. It was like the last Thursday class I had. I'd have my computer up. I'd listen to the lecture. I'd like watch the stream with like the sound off and everything, or like I'd have it turned on, but I had like one earphone in. And like then I'd like watch you guys like messaging and like doing all that wild shit on my phone. And I'm like, I tried to play along with it, but then it just got to a point where I'm like, man, y'all need to fucking chill because this is like going way beyond what's acceptable.
I mean, we over here talking. I mean, we over here talking some illegal weird shit with somebody who knows the law.
Yeah, where I'm like,
and still studying
getting
the
like,
law.
I'm getting, and like I even brought that up on like when I was like messaging. I'm pretty much like saying all these like legal terms and shit. Pretty much trying to like give y'all a hint. I'm like getting a lecture on all this shit. Y'all need to be careful.
And I remember
Zach is ready to go to war.
literally. I remember when Kane-No and Zach with the Knights over in J right post, bro. That shit was. Zach, remember when we was like going at it and we just send like gifs of whatever or some shit, and then out of nowhere, Kane-No come up with the Brock Lesnar.
Oh yeah,
that was funny. That was.
dude. Honestly, like
I kind of
despite how
plotted that out. To be honest with
yeah,
you.
despite how I felt about you, like our back and forth was really great, and
It
that was like
really was.
yeah, because like at that point, like the reason why people cared about the match we were having was because we were just at each other's throats. Like we made it so like no matter what was on the card, we were gonna make sure that people like wanted to see our match, no matter what the main event was, no matter what like was going on in the other matches. We wanted to make our match like the most must-watch match.
That's what we all. That's what we should. Matter of fact, that's what everybody should have done, but nobody really does it for real. It's
Because
boring.
like there's like so many people that just go with the flow, and I'm not one of those people. I'm like, look, I'm gonna make sure again, to quote Immaculate Misconception, I'm gonna make sure you remember me. Like I'm gonna do everything in my power so that people talk about me and they watch my matches, and that's like the mindset that we had in the Covenant. That's why it worked so well, because it was my mentality with a lot of like the different personalities of each member in the group.
Yeah, I think that part of the reason why the Covenant was so good is because we were all very competitive. I think that it caught a lot of people off guard. How deep I thought about a lot of it, as far as how much I thought I put into how I approached RP, how I approached the promos and all of that.
Yeah.
I think that I think at first people just thought I was like a goofy sidekick character, and then they realized like, oh shit, like this is
Like,
bigger than that.
People thought you were a Zach Mark.
Yeah, pretty much, and it wasn't really that, because we kind of had it first, and then we realized that we had like common ground.
We had something special.
Yeah, and I think the one thing I regret though is that we never. Well, I regret the fact that I feel like we kind of joined too fast, because I feel like I never really got challenged ever in WCC, unfortunately, outside of that.
Well, I mean, you also had that like upcoming match with George, and like either way, if you like won or lost, it would have like progressed into you eventually joining the Coven in a more natural way.
Yeah, I just mean in general, from the aspect of like having competitive, like actual being able to have like a competitive back and forth with somebody. I don't think I ever experienced that for real in WCC. It was just me like writing a whole bunch of words that was just gonna bury somebody. I think Tejano X kind of like, he did his like meme thing, and that's like cool.
Oh, dude, those were amazing.
Yeah, but like at the end of the day, it's like I fucking exploited the fact that he was OP, and then by the end of our whole feud, we both quit because the fucking guy, jobbed us out and made us look stupid, and then tried to, sell me out to Tejano X like I was some sort of asshole.
If Odd Couple would have gotten you guys, I feel like I would have been able to give you a little bit of something.
Well, see, and that I was gonna say a thing I was gonna do in GRFC, because remember when I acted like I might show up on Monday to fight Tejano X?
Yeah.
Like I was gonna cut a promo basically saying like, for a fact I would have been the first pick in this draft if I was in it. So like I would have already like had him because I already know that's a fact.
Yeah, I would have drafted you.
If whoever had the first pick in that draft was drafting me first. If it wasn't Zach, I think it was Brooklyn and Maya who had the first pick.
Yeah,
and they for sure would have picked me first if I was allowed, or if I allowed them to do it. But I just decided, this is the truth. I was still in WCC at the time when this was happening, and I just wanted to be as straightforward as possible about what I was doing as far as like the eFeds I was in. And it wasn't like I was not joining because of WCC, but as long as I was going to be there, I just didn't want him to think like I was backdooring him, because he had asked me a lot about it, and I basically just no-sold the whole thing because I don't think any of us are to blame for wanting to have fun without some dude overlording us.
Yeah.
And
that's understandable.
At the end of the day, it was really created kind of as an escape route because he disappeared and he kept on like bullshitting us and like backing out on shows, or like telling us none of us could participate because of some imaginary everybody was, and like little things like that, and just people wanted to be entertained watching the wrestlers fucking wrestle, as far as I'm concerned. And he was just bullshitting everybody, and he accelerated the process by being dicks to Supreme, by being dicks to Maya, by being a dick to fucking Brooklyn, being a dick to me. You know what I mean? Like, he just ran everybody out. It's nobody's fault that everybody else was privy to what to do, or had already, like, dude, I already had OWA before I joined WCC. Like, you don't think I would just do that? And considering, like, the whole time I was in WCC, I was building a fucking, like, army of fucking wrestlers that nobody knew about. Like, he didn't have it. Like, he couldn't tell me I couldn't have fun on my time. You know what I mean? So, like, to me, it's like, dude.
And my honest thing is, like, I don't know if y'all ever thought about this or what, but every time I'm in the server or whatever, I have an aura, like I feel a vibe coming from everybody, like they just don't want to say anything because they are scared. Like I feel like
they're too fucking scared. That's the
I
problem.
told him that, dude. That was one of the things I said to him when I told him about Zach. I was like, nobody wants to talk to you because you're a dick, bro. Like, nobody wants to piss you off, so everybody's quiet.
Like, you'll say one thing and do something completely different. Like, no one wants to talk to you because they don't know if you're for real or not.
It's like,
and like that's why when I like message people or talk to people, I'm like, dude, I will be like as honest as I possibly can. Just know that I will not like do anything underhanded. Just know that I will not stab you in the back. Just know that like whatever happens, it's because I mean it, and I'm like gonna do the best I can.
People are just
because
fucking terrified of like I don't want to say that I'm the only one who actually broke that freaking shell. You know, like being like all obedient and a bootlicker, and I'm just over here just doing my own shit and just saying whatever I want, and then looking at everybody else, they just either they're not even like they're online, but they're not saying anything. I'm over here in the server saying what I want to say, cutting promos, legit waiting for people just to answer. It's like it's like people just don't. They are afraid to just be themselves and not like because there's a lot of good characters in the roster, but you don't know that because they're not even saying shit. Like I could bet you that anybody in the roster can beat me in a promo, but they don't want to because they're scared they might say the wrong thing or whatever. And then WCC come in there and just piss them, like trash on them, all that stuff. Hell, even got some of my promos removed literally because they either bad or whatever to him. Even though my promos, they can either speak truth or just opinions.
Yeah, I don't know why he would delete your promos. Like, that sounds strange. Why he would do that? I don't really think that.
Apparently, Leon Devon's promos are god.
Yeesh. I don't really know who's there from that aspect, but I think that a lot of people are scared. I think part of it is a lot of people just don't know how to do it, and then they get intimidated when they see somebody who does. A lot of people just don't want to lose too. You know what I mean? That's why so many people get frustrated, I think, in WCC. And a lot of times you end up losing, and people can't have like the disconnect between the character that was built for them or the character they made and the fact that it's a video game and like you didn't really lose. Like it's not your fault, you know, like you don't have to feel bad about it. It just happens. Especially in wrestling, like nobody goes undefeated. Who goes undefeated for a super long time? Goldberg, one human fucking being, has gone undefeated.
Undertaker went undefeated for a while, and so did Vladimir Kozlov, the GOAT.
But like, you get what I'm saying. Like, people don't go on huge undefeated streaks. Like, so like everybody loses in wrestling. That's part of wrestling. Like, even champions lose matches at some point in their career. You have to, and like it's a give and take type of thing. So I think, like, for people who watch wrestling and that are into wrestling, they understand that for the most part. But at the same time, there's certain. I think part of it is because a lot of people in WCC are young. A lot of people in WCC actually don't own the game, so they don't really understand how it works. So like when their character fucking just like looks like a dumbass, like it, and it's just like that one time that it happened, you know, like they just can't comprehend that it happened, or like their character lost because the guy that they fought was just better than them. Like their logic was better. They were built to actually win a match. I don't know, whatever, but people just can't get over the loss for whatever reason. Even people who say that they can sometimes can't, just because the game can, you know, like it, the way that he spins it, that it's like competitive, like that you can like after you win talk shit, you know, like he like advertises the whole idea that like there's some level of competition there, but then like he mods the match. Like, what was the one where Kane-No, didn't you have a match where like Zach popped up out of nowhere, or was it the other way around? And it's like, okay, so like I guess you technically didn't mod the decision, but when you mod a surprise interference, like when the guy's practically dead, you've pretty much rendered him a loser. Like, I don't know. Like, to me, it's like, sure, I guess you technically didn't do it, but you still buried the guy who, like, you probably shouldn't have just, like, buried like that. You should have at least gave him a fighting chance. Because either way it was, like, one of you was champion and the other one, you know, and then, like, you were just outside of the ring and somebody popped up and then, boom, you got killed. And it was like, I mean, I guess that's cool, but at the end of the day, like, the guy who lost that match or whatever was made to look stupid. Like, they weren't in on that. They didn't know that they were about to get fucking, like, bombarded or whatever. Like,
got fucking Bukage, bro.
Popped up out of nowhere. I don't know. It's just weird to me. Like, I feel like people should be given a fair chance. Like, and if you're gonna promote RP, like, pay attention to it and reward people that are good at it. And if people don't want to RP, then you have to accept that and then, you know, kind of go in a different direction, I feel like. Because if Kane-No, you're the only person in there that's doing a fucking promo that's worth a damn, and you're basically just yelling at nobody over and over and over again, like, is that really that fun?
I am legit arguing with the fucking wall.
Like, I feel like that's part of why you're, you know, like, sitting there like, why the fuck am I here? Because you're arguing with nobody. I feel like that's what I was doing, dude. Months ago, I felt, dude, I cut promos on Tejano X, and other than that, like, nobody ever responded to me, ever. Like, I never got responses. I just had to, like, basically give up on writing promos after writing promos against Zach and you. When you left, I never had to write a promo against anybody, like, ever again.
Don't feel bad. I never even got any matches after the first month I joined.
At least you didn't have to go through 17 million matches and know you're gonna lose.
I mean, for me, it just got to a point where I'm like, I'd still say things, but I'm like, what's the fucking point? This isn't gonna lead to anything, anyways. Like, why am I wasting my time with this shit? Because like the only people I'd like cut promos or like, you know, do stuff with are like, you know, Kenny Bowers, Lance Cannoli, all those people, and I'm like, what's the fucking point? You know?
Yeah, there aren't that many, and I feel like at that point, Kenny Bowers left before I left, or before I was kicked out. He left after he fucking the whole thing with Maya, and he called him a bitch and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, everybody was fed up, and he had his other reasons for being fed up too. It's just, you know, like, it's just frustrating.
How to kill your roster? Just don't just basically that. Basically, like it's frustrating because you know WCC can be something, but you can't salvage no more. It's like the little thing I did put on the OWA server about like the hand and the WCC logo and that little poem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's basically me. Like it's kind of like a hidden message. Like the message was like, I want to help this company out. I want to help make this better than it really should have been. But I can't help it because there's nothing to salvage anymore.
Dude, that's how I felt until the day I was kicked out. I even told them that as I was going out the door. It was like, dude, I just want this place to be better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not hating on anything. I just want you to give people a fair effort so that they feel rewarded for the effort that they put in. Or don't ask them to put in all of that effort if you're not going to equal it. It's just not. And the thing is I also understand that streaming takes effort. I understand that commentary takes effort. I understand that, like, all of the actually making a card takes time and effort. I get that. But at the same time, people to promo and RP, and you're selling that as a tool for people to join your league, you have to take that into account and make it worth something, or else you have to change your model. That's it. You can tell people, like, and that's how I really tried to kick off OWA, was like, you don't have to RP if you don't want to. I'm not forcing anybody to RP, because the truth is a lot of us probably just don't have the time or just don't want to do it for whatever reason. But you're welcome to, if you want to, you know, if you have a character in the league, or if you wanted me to make you a character, you're welcome to cut a promo if you'd like. But, like, I'm not going to force anybody to do anything, because for the honest truth is, when I'm working a lot, it's hard for me to keep up with everything. With the amount of promos that I get in OWA, I can keep up easily, because not that many people do it. There's not that many people in the server in the first place, but there's still enough action. And if you actually watch any of the matches, you can see where things come from and what happens. So I don't have to cut a promo for every character that I made. That would be impossible. I couldn't keep up with that. So, like, I mean, I offered certain people to, even if they wanted to RP for characters that I made. Like, I would be totally cool with that if they wanted to do that. But, like, the truth is, I just think that a lot of people don't want to RP. It's hard to write all of those words and then lose a match. You know what I mean? I think, like, all of that takes a toll on certain people. And especially when a lot of people are young and just don't fully understand that, like, you can't win everything. You know? Like, sure, this is RP in Fantasyland, but, like, there's still give and take to it. Like, I can't just write up to WCC a bio for a character that's like, my character is like Goldberg. He's going to win every match. He cannot lose, or else I'm not joining. You know what I mean? He'd just laugh at me and be like, right. Like, you can't do that shit. So, like, once you get in the league, you can't expect to win every match, you know?
Yeah. And that's what I was saying before. Like, that's the big problem, because you all want to be the face of the company. You want to have that edge. You want to be the one that everybody cheers for. And there has to be some Leon Ruffs. There has to be some, like, I'm trying to think of a good example. But, like, there has to be someone that gets beat up. There has to be someone that's good and people like them. There has to be...
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it is.
Yeah. There has to be characters outside of the same old, like, cool bad guy character that everybody wanted to portray. I don't know. I think that some people are just naturally good at writing a certain style of promo, like how Zach said earlier, like being a babyface just didn't work for him. I know that for him, writing the "I told you so," "I got you," like I can talk my shit because I know I'm gonna win promo is the way for him to go, as opposed to like, oh, you guys all love me, show me how much you love me promo that you gotta cut as a babyface, or like an underdog promo. Zach's not an underdog; he can't cut an underdog promo. Asking him to do that is stupid. It doesn't make sense. So like for instance, like Emo Boy has the ability to cut an underdog promo. I did it for a very short period of time against Zach. After that, I never had to do it again because once I was in the Covenant, I wasn't considered an underdog per se. I think there are certain matches where I might have been an underdog, but like I never had to cut it like that.
It didn't make sense.
Yeah, I never had to portray myself as that again. Like as soon as I turned heel, I took my flying finishing move off because it didn't make sense for me to be doing cool ass flying.
The Blue Monday.
Yeah, I did it in the one match, my debut match in the Covenant, because I hadn't changed it yet. But once I went bad, I had to go bad. I had to sell out bad. And that's what I tried to do to the best of my abilities. I just think that being a brooding, emotional character connects with a lot of people because at the end of the day, people can like connect with the up and down of it, can kind of like ride that like emotional roller coaster of like feeling really high when you're doing good and feeling pretty damn low when you're doing bad. And like that's what I tried to do when I did like the drunk Emo Boy thing where I got really wasted and like pathetic drunk after I lost the match to Jay Balmer, because it was just like watch me be pathetic because I feel like shit because I lost the match. And like
you hang out with Shadow Dart that time?
No, that was when fucking Leon Devon was fucking like following me everywhere when he was Savage Nightmare.
God, that guy. Thanks. Like, how many times can I cut I'm gonna win the WCC championship for all my freaks promo before it becomes hokey and stale, because you can see right through it, and it's not my like normal style of like promos. And like the good thing about me going heel is like when I do lose and it's like, a match where I was like so confident I would win, my character would like have fits of rage and shit, just like when Kane-No screwed me out of the title. I'd be like fucking pissed and all that shit, but like that's my character. Like he has such a big ego that when someone knocks him down and embarrasses him,
he has nightmares of the
he flips out because he flips out because he was so confident, and like the fact that like someone shattered his confidence pisses him off. It's kind of like Anakin turned into the dark side, where he has these fits of anger because he knows how good he is, but he's not allowed to be. If that makes any sense.
Like Anakin mixed with the Kylo Ren with the temper tantrums.
So Zach would talk all this shit, and like if you do losing a match is fine and all, but like if it'd be like in an embarrassing fashion, Zach would fucking lose his shit because that's not the way he wanted to lose. That's like the core of Zach's character, pretty much.
Yeah. No, I feel that. I think that it was a good way to go too, because I feel like in most instances when you cut a promo before a match, you had like good talking points. Because like one thing I always appreciated from when I met you was the fact that like you actually like knew about your opponent and shit like that. Like
I had proof, I acknowledged that, like backed it up.
Yeah, and I think that was a good approach, and I feel like that was an approach that I kind of borrowed when I went at Tejano. I never really used it much outside of that, but that was like when I went at him, I kind of like stole out of your playbook. And
which is fine because we're in the same group, so it naturally would rub off.
Yeah. So I just kind of like took a play from you, which was like know about something, get in the, like kind of like nudge my foot in the door with Kamish as far as like planting the seed, like, hey, I want this. Yeah. And I feel like I deserve it. But then once you kind of gave me a little pushback, I kicked it in with, well, I know all of this. You got to give me what I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a blackmail thing. It was more of like I want to prove, because at the time he was like, well, Dead Shadow, he said something about like 160 edit was gonna win the WCC championship or something like that.
Oh yeah, the master, the one who's literally just fucking Sting with a different face.
Yeah, and he was on this tirade about some low edit point edit was gonna win the WCC championship. So I was like, okay, if that's your thought process, let me, Emo Boy, at 180 edit points, fight Tejano X at 200 whatever, 30, 50, whatever the heck you have him set as, straight up for the championship. If I lose, I won't bitch about it. I just want a straight up match against this guy because I feel like my logic is better. I can beat him. Give me the match. And he just wouldn't do it. He made me run all these hoops, and then he gave me a triple threat match. It was bullshit. I was mad. But I still gave him effort in the promos. I still gave him his whole build up to the championship match. And then in the end, he undercut both of us. And it was just like, what the fuck? But, like, I definitely, like, used the Zach move on that. And, like, I remember when Zach was, like, basically preparing to get his belt back from Kane-No. Like, how, like, focused he was on the fact that he had to know, like, actually how to beat him.
Yeah, and I was relentless with it.
It was, like, yeah, it was, like, intense. It was, like, eye-opening that, like, that was a way you could approach the game. Because at that point, I was just casually playing the game and role-playing my character because I was having fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then at that point, I was like, whoa, I can fucking do this shit?
Yeah.
Like,
because I pretty much had been around there a while, long enough to be like, okay, like, this is how I can, like, do shit. Like, I can cut this promo as my character, but also kind of give Kamish an idea of what I want to, like, you know, match-wise or whatever. And that's why, like, I'd get frustrated, like, later in my career when I would, like, cut these promos and do that thing, and he'd pretty much be like, no, you're doing this instead. So, like, at that point, like,
sucks.
yeah, and, like, it's like, at that point, I'm like, okay, what the fuck am I cutting these promos for anyways, if you're not gonna even, like, you know, like, you don't have to give me the exact match I want, but the fact that you're actively being like, no, do this instead, or like, no, this is what we're gonna do instead, and it's gonna make you look like shit. I'm like, okay, so why the fuck am I doing this then?
Yeah, like, why am I
Like,
doing this?
yeah, like, I don't mind having a match with, like, Lance Cannoli, but, like, so
Ew.
yeah, like, I mean, like, at that point, I'm like, if he beats me, fuck it, whatever, I'm gone. But, like, I don't like, but the fact that he changed, like, my last match and changed the pay-per-view and all that shit, like, I'm like, okay, at that point, I'm like, okay, well then the shit I did was fucking meaningless.
Yeah, you couldn't even climb the ropes and shit, and you still there. He won the tournament until he had to mod you because he had absolutely no choice, and
Dude,
an FPO guy won it of all things.
I would have fucking CM Punk'd that shit if he didn't mod that match.
You know, my thing is, like, I think the reason why he did that is so that he could take the belt off you one way or another.
Exactly, like, because he knew if, like, in the finals, the way I was going, because I beat Lance Cannoli, I beat Vader, I was in the final match.
Vader's like fucking 300 points.
I was gonna beat.
Ridiculous.
I was gonna beat Trevista, and I was gonna CM Punk that bitch out of there, as pretty much as a big fuck you. But so he had to mod it to make sure I didn't. Like, either way, I didn't care, and, like, the only reason I watched the live stream was just to be like, all right, how is he gonna fuck me over in my last match? I had no idea it was gonna be like a whole ass tournament, so I was like confused when I was like facing
a tournament to begin with. There's no
I have
other
no
contenders.
fucking
Yeah,
idea.
wasn't it supposed to be Lance versus you, like the main event?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was gonna be Lance versus you in the main event.
WCW Uncensored.
And like I had
it's WCC Uncensored. Get it right.
I had this promo all like ready to go for like my match with Lance Cannoli, but then he did that bullshit with Nick Infante interviewing quote unquote Zach Roper, and that shit was obvious as fuck that it wasn't me. I'm like, okay, well, fuck this shit. At that point, at that point, I just saw, I was like, okay, he just thinks he can easily replace me at this point. Fuck this company.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah,
he was trying to be the bullshit. Fucking fake Scott Hall, fake Diesel bullshit.
Yeah, that sucks.
But yeah, so shall we end this here because it's already like 3 hours and 38 minutes. Well, 3 hours and 39 minutes right now. So
I was gonna say you might have to two-part it too.
This is the
I'm not
part,
gonna edit shit.
basically.
I don't feel like editing anything, to be honest with you.
Just edit when emo was cutting out for like 10 minutes straight, and none of us were really talking. That's about it.
Yeah.
I don't know what time it was though.
Cut it.
But what timestamp?
You gotta listen to the whole thing to cut it. All 3 hours and 33
No,
minutes.
look at, because we posted when emo was cutting out, so take off like
Wait,
the
you
hour
did?
amount from there. Yeah, like me and
Where?
Zach both did at
In
one
the-
cuts. You're cutting that out. So
They
like
both
go
said it,
back
but I
to
didn't see
that
it.
time frame, pretty much.
Oh, fuck.
It was
Yeah.
around. It was at 4 when we were doing that.
So
So
like 3
almost
hours.
3 hours ago. So it was like the beginning 30 minutes probably when he
Yeah.
was fucking cutting out.
30 to 40 minutes.
Kill me.
Yeah. I was
It's
cutting
whatever
out.
the string is where he was cutting out for like a good 10 minutes and we couldn't hear
Yeah.
like any of what he was saying.
Yeah.
Just that part really like definitely needs to fucking be cut.
And then the rendering.
I
Yeah.
just say,
Anyway.
just fucking bro.
Yeah. But yeah, so
Huh?
We can end this however the fuck you want. I don't care.
yeah, so that was
Oh, I thought we already did end it.
no. I was about to end it till y'all keep talking. But yeah, so this has to be the most this has to be the most longest episode ever, even though there's only been 2.
I foreshadowed it too.
Alright, why the fuck is anyone still here? Go home already.
Nobody's here.
Yeah, this is the longest one because the last one was 3 hours and 19 minutes and 54
God
seconds.
damn it, I basically ended it with a bullshit.
the critical drinker. Go away now.
Alright, so thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for coming, watching, listening, or just you doing you while you hear this. Thank you for all that shit. And if anybody from WCC, sees this, how y'all doing? And yeah,
Shattered.
so yeah. Thank you for watching. I'm hungry.